think you're weird. I think you're dumb. You fucking had it too, makes me so fun. You're drunk now, just go home. You're drunk now, just go home. You're drunk now, just go home. You're drunk now. Coming to you live from the luscious loins of LaPella, Indiana. It's Bullshit. And of course, once again, we have Candace Crawford in the house of Rude Girl Baking. And our guests tonight are Rob, Brandon, and Paul of the band The Long Arm.
Hey.
I hit the right button. See, the clap button, guys. Not the clap like the STD. I mean, the clap literal button used to be at the top left. And I keep, oh, yeah. That's the button I should have hit, right? The Long Arm. Oh, yeah. So how was your daytime commute, guys? Did you all like come in one vehicle or?
We totally did.
Yep.
We did the.
I played dad and picked everybody up.
Oh,
That's dope.
Yeah.
got a minivan.
We talked
That's
about
right.
our day,
Yeah.
How we felt.
real rock and roll kind of shit.
You didn't listen to any music on the way up?
I did have music on, but then I put directions on and I think it messed it up.
Oh yeah, that's the worst. I have an iPhone, so whenever I'm driving and I had to mute, I can't have that voice going because it's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Ruins the vibe.
middle of the solo, turn left on Broadway Street and 0.3 miles or what the fuck ever.
Yeah, I mean, my car is from 2004, so I don't have these problems.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's.
You got a tape deck?
I do. I have a CD player.
Yeah. See, like you
I
can
love it.
get one of those things,
An
right?
adapter.
Yeah. And then you can have modern day problems.
Wow. I don't know. I may not be ready for that.
We just figured out how to answer the phone in our van last week. Like
Right.
we've been, don't call me in the van because it messes everything up and I'm gonna get in a wreck. And then we're like, oh, if you push the button on the steering wheel, then that answers the phone and it all works properly. So
Hell yeah.
10 years in, figured it out.
So let me I'm going with memory here. Rob's the drummer.
Rod with a D.
Rod with a D.
I thought it was Rob. I'm sorry.
No worries. I did
you
put
change
Rob
it?
in there first just because I like to get his name wrong sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Brandon, your guitar and vocals.
I'm the bass player.
Oh shit. Man. Okay, I had it backwards.
And I'm guitar and vocals.
Your guitar vocals. Damn it. All right. See, I'm the worst. How many times?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's the that gets the wah 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 button right there.
Get the buttons fixed.
So I met you guys, I'm pretty sure during the pandemic, because I was working the door and running sound,
Yeah.
and you guys were playing quite a bit back
Yeah.
then. So
Yeah, we rode the pandemic out at the Mal. We actually got COVID at the Mal.
Yeah.
hell yeah.
We did.
Together.
I know we
Now
did.
that it's over, a lot of people got it there.
No, we may not have gotten it there, but we gave it there if we did. Because we played a show. We like had practice the week before, and then we played a show, but it was only like 2 days later. And I texted you guys, and I was like, I'm thinking I'm going south here, and you guys were like, somebody else. Rod was like, yeah, I'm feeling pretty bad too. But there was nobody there that night anyway. There was one dude.
It was me. I was running sound.
Yeah. There was one dude that came in, and it was a really weird because I think there was supposed to be another band and they canceled. So we're the only band like on a Tuesday night or Sunday night or something. And this guy comes in just like fall down drunk, and the guy and lady just blotto shit faced, and we're standing around. Oh, and one of your students came and played the opening slot. Dude Man came. Remember?
Cameron.
Yep, we had he teaches guitar, and he brought one of his kids who did a little opening set. He's not a kid, young man. Played the opening set, and I remember standing back watching him, and this drunk guy comes and just gets in my face. We're like wearing masks, and this was like in the height of things, and we're kind of weirded out. And I don't know if it was because I had a mask on and he didn't like that or something, but he came up and was like yelling in my face, like something really crass about like, they're gonna make us wear butt plugs next because if we fart, it's going to spread COVID. And I'm like, what? And he's like, blah, blah, like spittle flying on me, and I'm like, dude, this is not what I want to be doing right now. And then 2 days later, we're like, oh, sick, yeah. But we didn't tell them now, though. We didn't want to buzz anybody.
I mean,
for sure.
Yeah, those are the good old days during the pandemic at the mill. I had a lot of fun.
But Dave had those barriers up anyway. You couldn't talk to Dave.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the glass.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was so weird.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, just thinking about like I was sitting here thinking about like all the weird things we had to deal with. I remember we had this Christian band come in, and I'm trying to think of the name.
Grave Robber.
That's it. You guys,
we opened for
yeah, okay. And do you remember? Oh my, like there was like, oh god, I almost don't want to get into it because it's like at that time it was like really bad, and like everybody that came to see him was like, I'm not wearing my mask, and everybody that was like,
But it's okay because if you die,
yeah,
Savior will take care of you.
it was probably like the only time I was ever genuinely like, oh, this is really cringy, because it was like everybody is wearing their mask except for these certain people. It was, I don't know.
That guy was a really nice guy, though, the Grave Robber guy.
Oh, yeah.
I went and hung out with him beforehand and talked to him, and he was really cool.
I actually spun their vinyl about a week ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Aw.
Hey,
I still follow him, follow them on Facebook and stuff. I mean, it's I grew up in that world of
Oh yeah,
the Christian rock.
Yeah.
same.
Really?
Newsboys, DC Talk, Audio Journaling, Reality Check,
Yeah.
Michael W. Smith.
Yeah.
I can say I spit all day, baby.
Yeah.
We'll grab a guitar. We'll sing some Newsboys songs.
My very first concert that I went to with our youth group was Petra. I saw
Right
Petra.
on, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope.
That's funny.
Fucking Wayne Birch with a blank comment. Probably a gif. Who knows? It's probably a picture of like hot Christian singles or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
So when did the long shot start playing shows? How long have you guys been around? I said the long shot, the long arm.
We started playing it's been 10 years.
10 years ago.
10 years ago this year. Yeah.
Wow.
This December, it'll be 10 years.
10 years.
Congratulations.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we started off with a different drummer. I think we got like 2 or 3 shows in with
Yeah.
Spencer, and then Rod came in.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just, we don't try real hard to go any places or go out of town, or we just like do our 4 times a year at the Mel, plus 4 or 5 times a year at all the other places that spring
Mix it
up.
up a little bit.
Yeah. And just, wherever we can, whatever we can get our foot in the door, and whoever will respond, and whatever shows our friends set up for us,
Hell yeah.
we go there.
So I do want to reiterate the long shot thing. So every time I look over at Candace, the back of her phone says long shot.
Oh,
on
it does. That's
And
true.
and we one of my bands just got booked to play there, so I've got like long shot on my mind. I'll probably do it at least 2 more times, and I'll probably
No
call
worries.
Rob. I don't know how many more times. So what's this?
This is the long a record, and we have all these lovely pieces of vinyl about. And
Hell yeah.
It's so
Oh yeah,
beautiful.
that's how I like met you is you took pictures of us, and
Mhm.
I reached out because we put you took a picture of Brandon that we put on our
Awesome.
on our vinyl.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the
Thanks for
cover is
using my
is
photos.
collage, a real collage that Paul concocted up and turned into the album cover.
Aw.
That's cool.
That's so sweet.
Has it reminds me of like a Genesis or like an 80s like collage album. Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah, speaking of COVID, that was COVID art. That was like, I feel really weird, and I feel like doing something weird. Let me cut up the mail today.
Yeah.
And it's not like I've done a lot. I've done like 2 collages in the past few years, and one of them is an album cover.
Oh man. I don't know why, but every time we talk about COVID, it just reminds me of all the crazy things, like people bleaching everything that came into their house before
Yeah.
they'd use it.
Yeah.
I almost said like, how many of your fruits did you bleach? Did you bleach your apples?
The rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, or whatever.
people
Yeah.
were washing their mail and stuff. There was like,
Mhm.
what's the best solution to clean your mail outside before you bring it in or whatever?
I usually use my tongue.
I'm gonna do a shots to anybody that's watching right now. Cheers.
Cheers.
And I got movies for everybody. I do that. I hook
Movies.
everybody up with a VHS as like a
Oh yeah.
as a
Vintage.
gift. Yeah, as a gift.
Mhm.
Well, they, how cool would it be if they started making VHS again? There's no way,
I've
Tapes
got
are making a
player.
comeback,
right?
so
And it's
Yeah.
kind of the same concept. So.
I know.
I will quit music once 8-tracks come back.
Yeah, I couldn't. I got a couple new tapes. I got a new tape with the band we played at the Mel once,
Nice.
but cassette tapes couldn't latch onto that.
I mean, I still have a bunch of tapes from when I would record my friends' CDs. So before you had like ways to just put it in your computer.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
Mixtapes that was
Yeah.
so meaningful.
Yeah.
Now you just have a playlist.
Yeah.
What
Hell
kind
yeah!
of effort is that?
Destroy your computer by downloading a bunch of music and then make burning CDs. That's my era right there.
Yeah.
Napster and all that shit.
LimeWire.
Well, yeah.
That was like recording
The
from
Pirate
the
Bay.
radio. You
Oh,
know?
I was
Yeah.
too.
For
And
sure.
Everything's got like the wrong name on it. Like you'll download an Irish song and it'll say Flogging Molly, but it's not Flogging Molly. Shit like that. Fuck. All right, let's do the films.
All right.
Films.
All right, so let's go. I'm trying to figure out who's getting what. All right. Yeah. All right, Rod, you're getting Eraser. the
Is
the
that
Arnold
Arnold?
Schwarzenegger film classic. And then Brandon, you're getting Full Metal Jacket. Stanley Kubrick
nice.
classic. Paul, you're getting Red
Red
Dawn.
Dawn.
Okay.
That's awesome.
I mean, these are better than I expected. This is actually the second VHS tape that will be going into our house within the last 2 weeks.
No shit.
Yeah, my
Wow.
my wife brought one home from California. It was I Love Lucy's boxed set from her aunt. That's
Nice.
we would really like this.
Hell yeah.
Aw.
Take this VHS home because everybody watches VHS.
Nice.
Candace got you, Milan.
Oh, thank you.
Should've-
Appreciate that.
When's the
Well-
last time anyone has seen one
So-
VHS?
Not too long ago, actually. I watched Back to the Future. I have
Yeah.
a
Nice.
stick for watching like the old ones, like
Mhm.
Ghostbusters or Back to the Future or what's that? That's another one that I really like watching on VHS. Whatever. If I can't think of it off the top of my head, just move on. But
Like, how much are they degrading? Like, is it starting to be pretty apparent that they're a lot of age on those tapes? Or
oh,
the
see, here's the
quality?
thing: is like I go to Goodwill and I buy VHS. My big thing is that I try to find ones that aren't open.
I see.
So I have a ton of like unopened VHS. And then if I see like classics and shit, what's up, Wayne? I'll buy them, you
Oh,
know.
yeah.
And that's pretty much like I'm actually getting ready to run out pretty soon. I'm gonna have to
But the tape doesn't. The actual tape doesn't degrade over time. Like
no. Oh no, I thought you meant like being worn out. Like, but no, they're good. I mean, if you think about it, they're in the sleeve, and the killer of everything is oxygen, right?
Mhm.
So they're in the sleeve, they're in the case. Generally, I've not experienced a single film unless you could tell it was just like worn in. But I don't buy a lot of porn on VHS, so there's that. But yeah,
The thing I remember about Red Dawn, it came out I think when I was in 3rd grade, and in 4th grade we did this writing project where we were assigned in our reading class or whatever, where everybody wrote a book, and so everybody wrote their own fictional book, and you had to write a story, and then we bound it, and there was like a contest, and my buddy wrote a book called Red Dawn, and he wrote the movie in his story form and
No,
turned
you
it
did
in.
not.
He turned it in as if like the teacher hadn't heard of that, you know. And
Didn't even change the name.
yeah, didn't even change the name, like literally called it the same name. And everybody was like, I think we've kind of heard of that, bro. And he got called to the
Wayne
called to
Wayne,
the
Wayne
principal's
Birch
office.
scored a $100 vinyl. We want to know what it is.
Yeah, what is it, Wayne? And we've got an emoji. Shiny wife. Strong 96 wife lurk. I don't know what that is. Emoji. Dog emoji. Dog emoji.
Squishy emoji.
Jars of clay.
What? How is a jars of clay record worth $100 fucking dollars?
I must
Well,
be thinking.
Oh, hey, what's up, Allie?
I felt like he was listening earlier.
I must be thinking.
Yeah.
I must be thinking of a different band.
No, but yeah, Jars of Clay.
Yeah, Christian band. Yeah. Have you ever seen them?
No, that was after my time. That was, like it was once I got into high school, it was, moved on from that. But I do remember this kid in the locker room in high school being like, hey Paul, what you doing listening to Christian rock? And it was pretty good burn. I was just like, not anymore, but I can't. Like that was probably how a lot of people in my hometown think of me.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely converted some of my
Oh, yeah.
ex-girlfriends.
Yeah. I sport it on my left
Sorry,
arm pretty
ladies.
much.
Nice.
MXPX.
Nice.
That's what got me into punk.
Mhm.
Christian punk is what got me into punk.
Like who is that? Who?
MXPX. They're like a
I've heard of them, but I know the name.
remember Tooth and Nail?
Uh-uh.
They were a Tooth and Nail band. Yeah, they ended up switching over and doing. I can't remember who. I think they signed with Geffen. I don't fucking know. But yeah, they eventually switched over. But yeah, you should check them out. They're good. Yeah, and they're not like super Christiany. I mean,
Yeah.
they are, but they aren't. They have,
I mean, there's a lot of really good bands. If you like, well, there's, okay, so we can say King's X. You guys like King's X? They fucking rip. They're not a punk band, but they're a great Christian band.
like AC/DC.
No, they're like more
Clear.
like they're like the Beatles, but if the Beatles played slightly soulful metal.
Mm.
Really, really cool shit. I mean, they're their own thing, a 3-piece, excellent rock and roll band who just happened to they were on MTV and shit. Then there's who else was I gonna say that's really cool? Is well, the fucking Smoking Popes,
Yeah.
They're like one of my favorite bands, and he fucking broke up the band because of Jesus,
Damn it.
Wow.
And there's Pedro the Lion. Did you ever listen to them? So I mean, he's my favorite guy. He left though, so he got this huge following. He's more kind of like a light emo-y kind of stuff. Excellent songwriter, excellent just great writer, fucking kicks ass. He got a big following in that world, but he was really intellectual and really fucking punch below the belt at the church and at Jesus. Like he wrote songs that were like, what the fuck is up with you, Jesus kind of songs. It wasn't like, oh, this is great. It was like, this is fucking bullshit, Jesus.
Questioning.
Yeah. And it was really powerful. And it pissed me off because I got into him way after the fact. And I was like, dude, you're such a great songwriter. How are you still in that world? Right. And then he left that world. And so he brought his whole, he had created this schism in his followers where they were everybody's wanting to come pray for him and shit. And he's badass.
I'm trying to think of some other ones, but I can only think of the songs hold on, it'll come to me. But the song goes, I hate doing this live. We were meant to live for so much more. We lost ourselves. Thank you. Yeah, they were a Christian band.
Really?
Yeah. And then
Norma G. Ever listen to them?
When POD.
yeah, technically, I don't think they were ever not. I think they've always been Christian, but they just didn't, they weren't on a Christian label.
Yeah.
But people just didn't really recognize that because
know.
they were hip, they're new metal, kind of, I guess, right? Skillet, that's the one. That's probably the biggest crossover of all time. Yeah. Huge before, and then even bigger after. And I never really got into them. Yeah. I got their first album when they were a Christian band.
Yeah.
So
I don't know anything about them. They're just kind of new metal-y kind of stuff, right?
I don't know shit about those guys, but I know this. I like to buy and sell guitar bullshit. And I had this amp for sale, and the dude from Skillet reached out to me and was like, "I'm the dude from Skillet. Oh, you want to sell me shit?" And I was just like, "I don't know who the fuck you are, but I'm not giving it to you for free because I don't even know who the hell you are." But anyway,
Wow.
but
I
it
don't
was
even
that.
use a skillet.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know who you are. And I sold it for good money to someone else. So
Good.
fuck him for thinking he was a
Yeah.
big rock star. But anyway,
Gotta love that.
yeah, I was just like,
But religious music is a good entry point to punk rock. Like,
Yeah.
because for me, it was like straight from that to like, it transitions well to Minor Threat, Fugazi, like those, like the Discord bands that have like a, you know, kind of like a culture around them. And then, you know,
I was talking to somebody, I think it was Ryan Bishop, the other day about Christian music, and he brought up Newsboys Take Me to Your Leader, and I was like,
Oh yeah.
I want to check out this album. And so I went to look like who produced it and all this stuff, and I read the Billboard listings, and on the Christian billboards it debuted at number 1, and 2 months I was shocked. This is how big Christian music was in the 90s. It debuted in the top 80 in the United States.
Oh my god.
I was like, wow, that's
Yeah.
fucking crazy. Nowadays, no Christian music is making the top 100. No way. There's no way. It's just not.
and it's also fascinating to me because I came from like, I grew up in an environment where I was always there on Sunday, but like, as far as what I could listen to, my whole MO was like, find everything that was like the least like that I could find.
oh yeah, yeah.
Nice.
And so,
You were allowed to listen to what you wanted.
well, now not a, it's what I could get away with,
Mm.
right? Like, so I remember one time when Slippery When Wet came out, I got it at Sam Goody or whatever, and my grandma was like, she read the titles of the songs or something, and she was like, "You take that back right now." You know, so I mean,
Oh no.
I've been busted for some lame stuff. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying though, I tried to make sure that I just, bought my stuff when
Yeah.
my, parent type people weren't around.
Yeah.
So,
Got it.
that was
Don't
easier.
let anyone read the song title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
don't let-
dramatic for
yeah.
a reason.
Yeah.
I remember people getting like shaking their finger at shit like Striper and stuff, being like, oh, I don't know about this. It sure doesn't sound like that's for the Lord, you know?
Mhm. Let's put it this way. I had to hide a copy of Will Smith's Getting Jiggy with It from my parents, and I couldn't listen to it. I couldn't, like, unless they were home.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you know anything about that album,
Yeah.
it's not worthy of hiding
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
Except for, maybe Miami's a little sexually driven, but whatever. There's some little bits in there, but I don't know. Either way, that's a PG fucking album. I had to hide it.
PG.
Yeah, for sure.
My parents were cool with most of it. Once I started getting into like real rock and roll and buying shit, I remember my dad coming in my room and like reading lyrics, picking up a record and being like, what is this song about, son? Just being like, I don't fucking know, Dad. It's like a Husker Du album. Like, I don't understand it at all. And that's why I like it. It's weird,
So I always forget to ask this because you have not done any chopped liver podcast, right?
Never.
No,
Okay.
never. This is our first one.
So I'm not going to fuck this up. And for people that consistently watch the show, whether they're watching it now or they're watching it tomorrow, or whatever, or later tonight, they're going to be like, he did it. He fucking remembered. What's up with the long arm? Where did it come from? How did it come about? Like the name. I always forget to ask.
Yeah,
them.
it's just a name. It's just a vague name in the hopes that it's just, I like names that like aren't about a thing and don't like mean a thing. And
Okay.
and it's just a label, just a placeholder.
The only time I've ever heard the expression long arm is a political expression. And it's like basically a political power move. Like I use my long arm.
Yeah.
Or something
like
like
the
that.
long arm of the law. Is the
Yeah.
most
Yes.
common.
Yeah.
So that was a movie in like the 40s and yeah, that's the most common thing that comes from. But I just like the aesthetic of it is something vague and far reaching.
Right on.
Yeah.
There's a band.
I just thought we were disfigured.
One long arm or two. Yeah. There's another band that has something kind of like that, Barefoot Engineering.
We played with
We
them.
played with them.
Right on. Yeah, yeah. was-
Sounds like a shoe company.
Yeah. I think Wayne was talking about like Flat Foot 56, like Flat Foot 56, the long arm, and Barefoot Engineering. Yeah. Like have a show like that.
Yeah, all body parts.
So Rod, when did you start playing drums, man?
It's what I always wanted to do. I am a drummerless drummer, for the record, so I do not own drums. We have a nice kid at Brandon's place, and then the one that we play with lives at Paul's house, and he loads them in the van.
Nice. That's a cake
It's
job you got
totally-
there, buddy.
Totally
Hell yeah.
bullshit. Yeah. I've never owned a kit. I love the shit out of drums. I used to play in a group called Tono's Triad, and I had this drum kit made out of garbage. It was a suitcase and a cardboard box. And I've just been born to do music. That's all I've ever done. You know, I'm a full-time musician. I teach. I have multiple bands. But drums was the early love language when I was a kid. Dad didn't want to hear it. We didn't have a place to put them in the house. So I used to make a Tommy Lee style fucking cardboard box and oatmeal tin drum kits. And I would just bang the shit out of cardboard boxes. I'm a good couch drummer. I was a legendary couch drummer in college. And then Paul was writing all these songs, put a band together. The original drummer was a fucking beast. He's so good player. But he didn't really want to be in a band, and it was kind of hard to nail him down. As far as musically, you know, he always looked like he was a deer in headlights. It's like, hey, we're about to play this song, and the guy looked totally scared. But as soon as he hit those sticks, pow! It's great. So they wanted to make an album. They asked me to join, so I did. And then I quit for a couple of years.
Yeah.
You guys kind of fired me because I was busy with another band, and we were having a child, and you guys hired up another guy. And then I got slow with another gig, and then they hired me back and fired the other guy, and his butt hurt, and we never talked to him again. So back at the
We didn't
drums.
fire him. we said I want Rod to play drums. You can play guitar, synth, whatever. We'll make room. That didn't work out. Sorry, Scott.
That's very
Yeah,
kind.
We
of
love
you.
you.
Yeah. No hard feelings, buddy.
Much love.
Yeah.
But
It didn't work out. It sucked. That was really like in terms of kind of interesting life events, like kicking somebody out of a band, even though I didn't really kick him out, but making that call, knowing that it was going to really bum somebody out. You know, I never talked to him again. It was like one phone call, and I was like, here's where we're at. You know, it wasn't happening with him. It was clear it wasn't happening. And we struggled through for like 2 years. Brandon and I worked together, and we'd show up at the office and just be like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do for months on end? And it was like, well, let's just keep limping along. And then Rod was like, hey, I really want to play in a band again. And we were like, it was like, it was a 10
Overnight,
minute.
actually.
Yeah.
happened.
You guys had the conversation, and by like 9 a.m. I was texting you because we were just looking for that thing to happen. But it was really an interesting feeling and an interesting thing to go through, like where you know you're really hurting somebody, a friend that you really care about, but it's also the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, I can compromise on this art thing that's really important, this important project, and I can let you continue to like hold it back. Or I can make the right decision, the thing that we know needs to be done, and like doing that all the while knowing it was really, bumming him out. It was a strange, I felt like it was like, I felt like a man. It's like I felt like I made a serious consequential decision that was also the right decision. And it was like I felt like I like grew up that day in a way,
Wayne, Tono's Triad. We were this artsy jazzy trio, upright bass, a giant guitar player. I did junk drums, accordion, and mandolin in that band. It was a real fun run. We played a lot of shows, everything from the Melody Inn to the fucking Circle Center not the fucking symphony place, the Hilbert Circle
Oh,
Theater.
yeah. Gorgeous.
That's
You guys went to LA too, right? Didn't you?
yeah, we did. We traveled a bit. We did this and that, so it was a good time. But I do long arm is my rock and roll itch. I'm a rocker. I like punk. I like metal, and I do other projects, but they're not really rock.
I'm
And I need to fucking rock.
He's wanting to know if he barflied you guys.
You did
No,
not,
he
Wayne,
didn't.
and I'm a little bit upset about it. My feelings are hurt.
I've had bands in barfly, but I've never actually been in a barfly. But I don't give a fuck. He fucking painted a fucking
I saw that.
yeah, he painted
Yeah.
that of me on our 1 year of the show. So
That's so cool.
it makes up for
And Wayne, I'm joking about my feelings. I don't have any.
Wayne's a badass though.
I
Fucking-
know we all appreciate his contribution to the vibes around here.
and he's a constant. He watches like every single show too. So shout out Wayne for supporting all of us. Oh, did he really?
He just bought a cake from me on Monday for his wife, a coffee cake. So sweet.
Oh, that's cool. Congratulations, Carol, on your awesome cake. You know it's gonna
Hey,
be
do you
good.
have the clap button for Wayne?
Yeah, absolutely.
So do you have like a shop here in town?
Oh, I bake from my home and I do markets
Nice.
and private orders.
Uh-huh.
So
Nice.
I just started doing birthday cakes. I did my first delivery today, my very first commissioned
Nice,
birthday cake.
Nice.
All right.
It's very exciting for me.
That is awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You know what? I feel rude. We should probably, yeah. Our unspoken guest tonight, really the sixth guest of the show tonight, is the cicadas outside of my garage. There's no way that people cannot hear that.
They
Can you guys
definitely-
hear it?
They definitely can.
It's so clear as day. There's so many of them. We're in the middle of fucking nowhere. So we just get bombarded with them out here. I was really happy today when I got home from work. It didn't smell like manure. I was like, hey, it's going to be a good podcast. But it was a little hot in here. It's normally cooler in here than it is out there. But
Which manure do you usually have?
oh, it's because it's just cornfields for like miles and miles and miles and miles. So turn that mic down. That one was a little hot. But yeah.
They all smell a little different.
Mhm.
Son of a pig.
Yeah. So Brandon, when did you start playing?
Oh wow! So I started playing with when I started playing was
I mean like OG, like back in the day.
Back in the day. So
Before the beard.
Before the beard, yeah. So right. So before the beard, I was a dude who played in this band called Bramble Grit. And they were a whole nother thing in a previous life before I played with them. And a lot of people know who they are if they're really old school Indianapolis people. I think one of the coolest things I know about the band, of course, it wasn't when I was with them, but I know that they opened for Sonic Youth one time. And I think that that's just ridiculously neat.
Hell yeah.
But anyway, I played bass with Brad Smith and who was the principal dude, the guitar player of Bramble Grit, and that was how I learned how to play bass. Like I needed to figure out something to do. I needed to get in a band. I wanted to play in a band, and I had nothing on the ball. So I was working at the music store, and my buddy Brad who was the repair technician. He needed a bass player, so I was like, all right, I'll figure it out, I guess. So I figured out how to do it, and took a few lessons since I worked in a music store.
With Johnny G.
Yeah, I did with John Gannell. He taught me my right hand technique.
So you are, how many degrees of separation are you from the cougar?
Oh man, I don't know. That may have lessened it, but I still think there's some distance. But
didn't he play with Mountain Camp?
oh yeah, I think he's still mad.
So there's Brandon,
And
and
here
there's
Alright.
Johnny G,
Johnny G.
and then there's fucking Mountain Camp.
Yeah, there's Mount. All right,
There you go.
Right.
Look at that.
Hey Rod, will you pull your mic in a little bit for me? Thanks, man. So we just got a question, and I want to run that down real quick. Amber Reba said, "When will you play again? Hopefully soon."
Wednesday, your house.
Yeah.
Can my mom come?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys got anything in the books?
We don't right now, I don't think.
No.
We're about to hunker down and write and record is where
Yep.
we're at.
Nice.
Right
Got
on.
a batch of songs that we started to record at the beginning of the year, and then shows came about. And
We
were
got
doing
real
all that stuff.
popular.
And then
Hell yeah.
we just haven't got back to that. So hopefully that's kind of the game plan.
Hell yeah.
The past couple of records we did at Postal,
That was
and
outstanding.
yeah, we like the first record we made. We did in Brandon's got a studio in his basement, and we did this guy down there. This was like our first kind of, let's see what we can do.
Hell yeah.
And that was good and fun and everything. But then the next time we're like, let's just try a different approach. And so we got all practiced up to where we could just go, this we did kind of like part by part, right? It's like, here's the drums, here's the bass, did it that way.
Well, we ended up at Ball State for a sec,
Oh,
which
yeah.
kind of changed the way that we recorded and thought about writing and getting it done.
Yeah, we got put on this record from doing Tonic Ball, where they took us up to Muncie and had us do some songs, and they put us on a record for a project that students were doing there. And we just had such a good experience. We're like, let's do that again. We went back with them one more time just to see what we could do, and it sucked. And then we went to Postal, and it was like, oh, this is the best possible experience. This is how we like it. We did a couple records there, and then we were like, well, let's go back to the basement and see if, now that we've learned all these from what we've learned doing it there, let's see what we can crank out more on our own time there.
And my fees are really great.
Yeah.
So So
Where is the Postal? Or
we're gonna start trying to see if we can record in my basement again. because,
Postal is on the west side.
Postal's on the west.
Yeah.
side here.
Do you not know Postal?
I've heard of it.
It's awesome.
It's really
it's,
nice.
It's the place in town.
It's
So
a gem of a studio.
Yeah. It's an old post office.
It's a national treasure.
Yeah. I mean,
Seriously, it's ridiculously nice.
People come from all around, and they have like a loft. You can crash out there.
Sounds expensive.
No,
It's not bad.
It's not.
It's
It's
and they
$60
use
an hour. It's
analog
$60 an hour.
fat 2-inch tape. They dump it into Pro Tools, but it's all highly maintained analog gear. It's fucking incredible.
Yeah, lots of people that have recorded there. I think Phyllis just did a big record there that they actually wrote the whole record and recorded the whole record in the studio, I believe. And then they do all kinds of stuff like
Lou Barlow was there.
yeah, Lou Barlow did, like they were working on a bunch of his. Well, he did speaking of tapes, he did like a box set of tapes that they were mastering for him. We went in to record one time, and they're like, "Oh, let's take Lou Barlow's stuff off right now and put your guys' stuff on."
Oh,
and we were
shit.
like, "Wow, that's kind of cool."
Oh,
Yeah.
But yeah, like Coven came through and was recording there, and they ended up putting together the band for Coven.
Yeah.
Which Coven, I don't know if you know who that is, but that's like from the 60s. That was like the first band to use like satanic
To
imagery.
record a satanic mass.
Yeah, they were like pre-Black Sabbath. Actually, one of their members was named Ozzy Osbourne, pre-Black Sabbath. But they sounded more like Jefferson Airplane than like heavy and dark. But they were the first to incorporate the occult in rock and roll. And then, but I mean, it was extreme. They literally, the B side of their first record was a satanic mass. Like, it's hilarious. I played it for the family the other day.
I'll check it out.
What do you want to listen to after dinner, kids?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But no, people, it's the shit. It's the deal. They do a great job, and it's money. And I would go back there, but I plan on going back there. But we're just going to try to apply the lessons learned that we've done being in the studio and see if we can't bring that back to the basement and see what happens.
Hell yeah. So you're the how did you start getting into music? How that all
I mean, I grew up in church. My dad's a preacher, and always liked music. we had a lot of religious music in my house, but then the non-religious music that we had was like, I think maybe my mom had like a Simon and Garfunkel record, or somebody gave me a couple of those, and then my mom did take me to see John Denver when I was like in 3rd grade. That was my first non-churchy concert. But
Hell yeah.
no, I just grew up liking music. Always wanted to do it. I had my dad. My dad died when I was really young, but he played guitar and was like a really good singer. And I got his guitar, at a certain age. It was like a little junior K.
Aw.
And so I took lessons starting in like middle school or something, but it totally nothing about it clicked, because it was like the old like Mel Bay books where you learn, like I learned Volga Boatman. It's like, I didn't know that song, like,
shit about that.
yeah. And I didn't
I'm
even
a guitar teacher, and I don't do that to my kids now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
And
Good for you.
I think I think my introduction to it would have been totally different. But I think even when I was starting to try to play guitar, I wasn't even hooked by rock and roll yet. Like I wasn't like like later in high school, I really got into it. And then, that about that time that I got it, like when I was a freshman and got turned on to punk rock stuff. My friends and I had some friends who were really good musicians, and we started making bands like every week after school. We'd have a new band, same 7 or 8 group of friends. This week we're going to be here's our rock band, here's our Cajun band, here's our gangsta rap band, and we were just always making.
What was the best name? The best name? Yeah, that you guys came up with
of the bands.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. So
I love like hearing like high school band names. and stuff.
Mine was the Shit Fits.
The Shit Fits. That's a good one. That's a good one.
I never made it out of the basement in high school.
We had a band called Worse Without. We had a band called Spam. We had a band called the Cajun. No, let's see, the shit. It was a really long name. It was like the Red River Cajun Crawdad Brothers or something like that.
Oh yeah.
I had a band named Zombie, and the record was called Mechaleka.
Mechaleka. I like it.
We had a band called Spam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My first band name was Vexed.
Nice.
I thought it was good too,
That's
until
good.
I found out later that somebody already had a band
Yeah.
from Canada called Vexed, and they had sold some albums. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
I had a band called the Skellies.
I did a total noise ambient thing with one of my best friends ever, called a Fluvia, and that was some heady stuff. That was outstanding.
I was in the Jerry Springer band.
Oh, we were Spider-Man and his Amazing Friends at one point.
Oh yeah. Oh, could you imagine if you guys got a record deal? You'd have been paying out
Yeah.
your ass for that
Time to
forever.
break even.
Like you get a check in the mail for $3 after doing like a 50-day tour across the
That
United
would, that would
States.
actually be the name of the follow-up band. Can't seem to break even.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
But
a
yeah,
good
I didn't click into playing guitar until like much later. I took lessons, and then I just kind of put it away, and it was kind of like sitting under my bed for a while. And then like once rock and roll bit me in the ass, then it was like, then I started playing. And again, punk rock's pretty approachable, right? That's the easy thing to get into. Like, luckily I didn't get into King Crimson right off the bat. And
Took a while.
Shit.
A friend of mine who listens to like country music sent me a message, and they were making a really long drive across the country. They're like, send me some albums or whatever, and to listen to, because they don't listen to like anything other than country. And I was like, let me start it off real light. So I sent them Bush. What's that album? It's like their most underrated album. It's the gold one.
I don't know.
It's passing. For some reason, I cannot process today. Normally, I'm pretty quick to it, but I'm not processing. It'll come to me.
Like the band Bush.
Yeah, the band Bush. Yeah, they. It was after the Chemical album. They came out with another one, and it was really good. I actually think it's almost as good as 16 Stones or Razorblade Suitcase. But I sent them that because I was like, let's start off real slow. And then I sent them a Refused album. Amel and the Sniffers album. And they don't listen to a whole lot of, cool shit. So I just kind of went across the board and I don't know what made me think of that.
I don't know.
Yeah, something just sparked in my head, but oh, I got it. Anyways, do you guys so what would you say your inspirations are musically?
God.
Each of you or the whole band, however you want to run that down.
Go ahead, Brandon.
I mean, well, for me, I can say that like I like to play. I play pedal steel. So
That's
you're
cool
talking
shit.
about country. I play pedal steel. Play with the Jeremy Vogt band, and I play. I also play. I gotta give a shout out to Caleb, my coach. I play bass with him as well.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, I mean, I think we all have a lot of common background of either classic rock but definitely there's a shared punk rock aesthetic that I think we all have had really sunk into us. I mean, I think one of the things that really affected me greatly when I think back to like, well, what are rock and roll moments I've witnessed on stage that are really meaningful. And I remember every time I saw Fugazi, I just would like lose my shit because
Brandon, I've never seen them. I liked you until right now. I want to see them.
Don't you have a handwritten note from Ian Mackay?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And I don't know. So like shit like that, like witnessing people delivering performances in such an intense manner, I was just like, okay, this is what rock and roll is really all about. And if I can channel my own personal version of, being that in tune with trying to perform the music I'm playing, that's what I want to do.
Oh yeah.
That's what I want to do on stage. Is just go out and have fun. And so
move people.
Yeah. Well, and I just move around, do stuff.
Yeah, I grew up in by Kalamazoo, Michigan, and in the early '90s, there was a real hotbed of bands there for a really small college town. They had like 100 bands playing and like 20 venues, and it was
wow.
And this is right at the time when I discovered rock and roll, and so I never. Like I listened to like the classic rock radio that was on, in 1989, 1990, and there was nothing that I could get into hardly. Very little from the radio moved me. Like I liked the Police when I heard them, and I liked, I saw an Elvis Costello video on MTV and I liked that. But like in general, what was out there, I didn't get it. It didn't make any sense to me. Like when it was all fucking like Winger and Poison and all that stuff, it didn't get me. But what was going on, like I was in this little farm town like Lapel is where I grew up in, but we would go to Kalamazoo and all the guys at the record store, they were all in bands and we could go see them, and you could get into bars in Michigan when you were 18 then. But if you knew the guys working the door, you get in when you were like 15, 16, 17. And so we would go to these shows that were local bands playing all kinds of weird music that was just, blew my mind. And so that was what really got to me, was like, and those are who my heroes still are, And so seeing these people go make this homemade music that was totally interesting and unique. And then all those guys got us into the bigger touring bands. And so at that time, in like the early 90s, like I saw like Helmet in a place this big. I saw Jawbreaker in a place this big. The Smashing Pumpkins were just across the water from us, and they'd come over to Kalamazoo, and the Smoking Popes and all these bands would come to these little clubs. No Means No came to like the skate place there, and that was like what got me in the door to that stuff. But I really like, that I think the authenticity of that music is what drew me into everything. And then as I got older and was able to kind of open up my ears a bit to things that made me uncomfortable, like jazz and country. And then I kind of got into those sounds as well. And yeah, I'm just trying to make something. I'm just trying to make art, like kind of punkish rock and roll is what I know how to do and what I can do, but I want to try to write one good song. I want to write one good song. I want to get over my nerves and get up on stage and like be able to deliver it as good as I can in my bedroom. And, you know, I'm still working on that. And I want to be a participant. Like, I think it's fucking badass. I love going to shows. I love getting rocked, but I don't want to be a spectator only. I must be a participant.
Hell yeah.
And so
so
that's the only way for me to approach it. And I accept my shortcomings and what, you know, there are people who have this built into them where they can just do amazing shit, or they can work hard and do totally mind-blowing stuff. And there's people that can work really hard and do pretty good stuff. And whatever, for me, it's just like, I want to learn how to be myself and do the true thing that is me, and like, just keep working on it and keep getting better at it.
hell yeah.
That's what I'm about.
Yeah, for the record, Paul is the main guy of the long arm. He writes the tunes, he drives the bus, has a really cool, fun vision, and it's fun to be in a band with that guy.
Yes.
Sorry, I just gotta take it back for a second. That's awesome. So you're like the main writer.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I bring everything in usually like 60 to 75% done. And I was just thinking about this the other day. I was like, I need to start trying to get it all more done before I come in, because we'll be able to put songs together, and then it can be like a year until I get like lyrics done, because it's like, well, that's done, and then I just forget about it. But yeah, I bring stuff in, but I keep it open to everybody. I'm like, hey, should we do this here? Should we not do this here? What do you guys think about this? And then they kind of help me arrange it or throw in a middle part or whatever.
So one of the bands I'm in, Tight Like a Tiger, that's you're pretty much Nick of the band. So he's like 65, 75, and then, you know, Dennis like prepared, and then Dennis and I come in and I'll write my guitar parts based on what he's already written and stuff like that. So yeah, I totally get it. Yeah. And you know, every once in a while I'll get my song or two in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always say I get one song an album, but I do another band where I do a lot of like most of the writing. So, but yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Fuck
And I mean, and these guys know I'm open to it too. I'm like,
so
bring it in.
So you're from Michigan, and then
Yep.
what about you, Ron and Brandon? Where y'all from?
I'm from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
I'm from Kokomo.
Oh man,
Uh,
every time. I'm just kidding.
Do you want me to just leave now?
Actually, I have some of like my longest friends of my life live up in Kokomo. So.
the interesting thing is the closest big quote unquote big town that was where you would get your groceries and hang out and play shows. There's a Netflix true crime documentary about it called Making a Murderer, from a place called Manitowoc. So I grew up around Manitowoc.
I love that first season. The second season was okay.
I knew the shitty ass cop, that fucking Wiegert dude.
Wow.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, he's a big of a piece of shit as he looks like on TV. He's probably even worse. Well, he is worse in person. I know that guy. So Manitowoc, you betcha.
So when did you move to Indy? I'm sorry, Indiana.
The Indianapolis.
Apparently,
area.
Indiana is not Indy anymore.
2001. I'm Hoosier enough.
Right on.
Yeah, it's my new hometown, my new home area.
Right on. I'm pretty close to where I'm 99. So
Where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
Ohio.
Where, like Columbus?
Not quite. Close. Ashland, Ohio. Do you know where Mansfield is? Yeah, Ashland, Ohio. Little itty bitty town, almost the size of this place. So yeah, my graduating class is like 80 people.
Yeah,
Whoa.
74.
Yeah. You know what's up? Yeah, 4-H called baby. What?
Oh, I did 10 years.
Yeah, well, you're Kokomo, of course you do. What else you gonna do? You weren't old enough to fuck around up there until you got older enough.
Yeah. So
I hear, dude, I have so many friends up in Kokomo. I hear nothing but just bad things, man.
Oh, no.
To a point, like, so one of the bands I'm in, you guys know Rich. We do a band called Sick the Ripper, and he just wrote this. Well, he wrote the music to it, and he had the idea like it's called "Don't Go to Kokomo," and he wanted me to like trash talk Kokomo. I'm like, no, we're like our shtick is like sci-fi horror,
Right.
so I'm writing the whole song about. There was it was like 5 years ago. There was a bunch of sightings and some crazy shit going on. You know what I'm talking about? So the whole song's really about UFOs. Or I'm sorry, UAPs. But yeah, it's like a hub. It's like a hub for shit. But I mean, Kokomo's really known for their transmission planes, Chrysler and whatnot.
Yes,
So,
that is indeed what they're known for.
that and Dwarf Among Midgets.
That's right. Transmissions, radios,
They've got a good record store there.
the hip hugger.
They do. Oh no shit.
Yeah.
What's the name of
record
the
store there? It's
It's on the square. American
Hi-Fi. Is it American?
Hi-Fi? Yeah,
I
maybe.
think so. I
Something
think
like
so.
that.
They do cool shows there, and
We
it's a
played
great
there
record
once.
store, and they have tacos and beer, and it's like
Wow.
when you're in town,
Yeah,
there's a good place to go. And
I love tacos.
it's right
And
there.
beer.
American Dream Hi-Fi.
You know what? We
Yeah,
shouldn't
American
leave
Dream
Candace
Hi-Fi.
out. Candace, are you from Indiana?
I am from Indiana. I was born in Irvington. I grew up in Terre Haute. I lived in Franklin for a while.
Candace is city folk.
Jacksonville, Florida for the last 20 years, though.
Oh yeah, that's
Just-
right.
Just moved back like a year
Okay.
ago.
Mm.
Florida and Indiana.
Yeah.
There you
Well,
go.
I hate the heat, so I'm very
Yeah.
excited for the winter and the fall months.
I think we're gonna have a pretty good winter this year.
Let's go.
Meaning, I'm sure we'll get more than 3 inches.
I would hope so.
It's been fucking weird. You know, like when I first moved here, I'm from Northern Ohio, so I would get that lake effect snow, and it was just constantly snow. I moved here, and at first it seemed like, oh yeah, there's snow here, and now questionable.
Oh,
Not
yeah,
really.
for sure.
I think the last time we had a good solid fuck you was like 2012. Like when we had that Super Bowl here. That's the last time we had a real fuck you like winter.
Yeah, for sure.
But not that, I mean, I'm not trying to drive through 3 feet of snow or on 4 or 5 inches of fucking ice, but it's kind of crazy. Like
Yeah.
we just don't get that shit no more. We just don't get it.
No, I'm a little nostalgic for it sometimes.
I love it. I
Yeah,
love
but,
snow.
Me too.
I love it because like if we get anything more than a foot, it's like me and 5 other people driving because everybody's scared.
Yeah.
I like driving the snow.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Michigan, and it's like we used to come down to visit family down here, and it was always really interesting, like because it was like we had tons of snow, and then you'd come down here, and it was always just kind of like, you know, not nearly as much, but yeah,
I think this is gonna be a good one though. It's been so fucking hot.
Yeah, I know, right?
I swear that's how it works. If it's like blazing hot, we're gonna get rocked during the winter. I don't know. I want the snow. I love it. So, and like if your pants are dirty, nobody cares. You know, fuck it. That's like my favorite part.
Your pants?
Oh, I'm a
Is that what you
natural.
said?
Like I'm naturally just always getting dirty. I fuck around.
Why did you come to Indiana?
So my parents got divorced when I was in elementary school. My mom ended up moving out here. She got remarried, moved out here, and then my freshman year of high school, I requested to move here. I was like, well, I didn't request to move here. I mean, if my mom lived in the Bahamas, I'm saying I'm going to Bahamas, but she moved to Indiana. So, but yeah, that's how I ended up here. And my longest running joke, I came up with this like within a week of moving here. My mom took me to the first day I moved here. She took me to Donato's, brand new pizza place.
Oh yeah.
And the lady at the counter heard us talking about me needing to get a job, and that's how I ended up working in pizza for fucking 20 years. I always joke like, Mom, why didn't you take me to Eli Lilly for dinner? You know, damn it. How did I end up in the pizza business? Like pretty much my whole fucking life.
I feel you.
I could have been fucking, selling drugs and shit.
Yeah.
Legally.
Legally, yeah. I always joke like if I meet a pharmacist, I'm like, oh, so you're a drug dealer. Like if you think about it, they deal way more drugs than most people do.
Absolutely.
Millions, billions of dollars, especially like I don't know. We're in like Opiateville, fucking almost said Ohio. I mean, we are in Indiana. It's pretty much Ohio, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the joke that the whole Midwest is basically Ohio. I don't know, but I consider myself a Hoosier. Even though
Yeah.
I'm still a Buckeyes fan and a Cleveland Browns fan, but
Yeah.
whatever. And I'm sure you're still a Michigan fan, right?
Well,
Wait,
see,
what side? What's Kalamazoo? I can't help it.
Yeah, it's on the southwest Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's basically just on the other side of the lake from Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all right, I got you. So yeah, there's like two types of Michigan people I've figured over the years. There's Spartans and there's Wolverines.
Mhm.
So those are the two basically. Are you a Spartan or a Wolverine?
See, I'm a rock and roll fan.
There you go. Right on. Good answer. Good answer.
You
Yeah.
press the button.
Coming from an OG. Oh, that one.
No.
Is your camera going out?
Well, it told me that my mic was disconnected, so I had to refresh my page.
Oh no, but your mic is supposed to be disconnected. Because we're using the mic. Yeah. So
It
don't.
was all a lie.
Yeah, it was all a lie. Yeah.
But I was actually born in Anderson, so I'm really an
Oh,
Indiana
no
guy.
shit.
But my dad was a preacher, so we moved up
I
there
gotcha.
with him. But I was born in Anderson because my folks are affiliated with the Church of God stuff up there at Anderson University. But so all my people are around here, like Newcastle and stuff. So I grew up coming here, and from Michigan coming here, it always seemed like a time warp. We'd be like, well, we're going back to the 50s for Christmas again this year. Like, it just seemed like so different. And now I live here.
Hell yeah.
And I'm stuck in the 50s.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we're always going to be last in line.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're always going to be. Indiana's always going to be the last kid picked on for dodgeball.
Aww.
Yeah.
Indianapolis.
Well, I mean, you know what? Deservingly, like we're big coal, we're big pharma, and then on top of that, we have the worst human rights out there. So
Yeah.
It's not good.
it's not good. It's pretty bad.
Indianapolis, though, I got married in '99, and we lived in Broad Ripple for a bit, and I worked downtown. I worked in restaurants for a lot of years, and we knew the city pretty well then. And then we moved away for many years and came back. And when we came back, it was it's like night and day. Like what Indianapolis has now versus even just like 20 years ago it's totally different. It's feels so much more culturally diverse.
Absolutely.
Just in restaurants and businesses. I
100%.
feel like it's grown up a lot to the point. I mean, to where we were like, oh, we want to live there and we feel good about living there. And since we moved back to the city, we're like, we love it. It seems like there are, better places to live or different places to live, but you can't live there as well as you can live here. And I couldn't afford to live in those places. And, I can afford to live in a house in the city now that in most cities and I couldn't live in.
That's very true.
Yeah, India's underrated. I
Yeah.
always say that.
Yeah.
Well, the city is fantastic. The state, on the other hand,
Yeah.
not so good.
Yeah. And that's true. Once you get out of the city, it's weird. And I told you we lived in Pendleton. Well, we moved to the city in 2020 in the
Pendleton's
pandemic.
dope, by the way. I love Pendleton.
I,
As a person that goes there to gets food, it's fantastic.
We lived there for maybe like 8 years, I think. And it got so fucking weird at the end by the time we left. It was like we realized it was like a science fiction movie where you realize like you guys are the different ones and everybody else knows it but you, and everybody's talking about you. Like it was like you would have thought that we were like Chinese aliens that spoke a different language. I mean, you would think, but we weren't. We were just like a little more worldly and progressive and had traveled and
I get that. I'll be honest. I get that feeling here.
Yeah,
I'll go. There's a bar down here called Woody's, and hey, I'm not hating. But just I do feel out of place every time I go into that fucking bar, and everybody's looking at me like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And I'll go up there and I'll sing my on karaoke there. I'll sing my Limp Bizkit songs or go out there, and everybody's just like, what?
Yeah.
Like, why isn't he singing the
Yeah.
Hank Williams song? What is happening here?
And we weren't doing anything weird. It was just we were outsiders, and we it was funny because we moved from Pendleton to I live just off of 62nd in Glendale area now.
Mhm.
And in the city, it's way more, they were way more welcoming,
Yeah.
much closer community, much more open and kind to us than they ever were in Pendleton. In Pendleton, they were like weird and bitchy and standoffish, and then scary, you know,
Like
and
a
then
cultural
yeah.
difference.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it was, I'm glad we didn't realize it until the very end. It was like around around election time when everything got weird, shit got really weird. And we were like, we got to get the fuck out of here.
Everything got weird.
Yeah.
Hell, man, social media got fucking wild back then.
And it had gotten better since.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
gotten a little better, but I guess not a whole lot.
Still pretty bad.
Still pretty bad. Yeah. I don't know. The lines being drawn back then were just, it was pretty, I don't know. Let's walk away from that conversation.
Well, Wayne's back.
Yeah. Oh, shit. I should probably.
Pick Naptown, best place. I like
Yeah.
Naptown. It's a good town.
Yep.
I'm a transplant. I think it's great.
Yeah. We came back because we lived, well, my wife and I, we were in the Peace Corps, and we lived in Madagascar for a couple years.
That's cool.
And then we lived in Madison, Wisconsin, and it was like the coolest city, and we loved it, but we were far away from our people, and our people were here, and we're gonna have babies, so we came back here. But after living in, like, you know, truly desolate places, this seemed pretty fancy and nice. And we're like, we can do Indiana.
Yeah, you know what's cool is we were kind of touching on this earlier. Indianapolis in general, it's actually, if you want a big city feel, right, but not have to pay the big city money, this is it.
Agreed.
Working in pizza stores forever, I like watched this massive movement happen right before my eyes because, you know, I'm in, you know, I have this store and this store on this side of town and this store and this side of town. And it didn't matter. It did not matter which store. It could have been Beach Grove. It could have been, you know, by the Mel, like by the fairground. It could have been over there, like Avon, whatever. It did not matter where I'm at. Like I would say 8 out of 10 applications that like whenever, they were literally coming from either Detroit or Chicago. They're just massive movements of people coming from those cities. And I'm sure it's probably still happening, but we had this huge like amount of people just moving from there to here. Obviously, because Chicago, you know, it's overpopulated and people want to, you know, get out of there, and there's jobs here. And then Detroit's like, you know, like a bomb went off, and you know, everyone, oh fuck, we gotta go. So where are you gonna go? You're gonna go to fucking Indy,
Yeah,
you know?
dude. Well, I live in Noblesville. I've been there for 20 years, and it went from Noble, Tucky to, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like, I might not be able to live there next year because
I don't know how you live there, bro. My fucking sister lives there, and the property tax is fucking insane.
I'm a renter. That's how I do it.
See, yeah. And here it's not much better. Like Lapel is insane. Like the amount of, you would not believe the amount of property tax I pay for this fucking property. It's insanity. But that's how it goes, you know. If you want to live in the city and you want to be in a better school district or what the fuck ever, they're gonna fucking tax the fuck out of you, man. But if you're renting, fuck yeah, man.
Well, you know, my teaching studio is in the house, so that saves me money. I used to pay like $1,700 a month for a shitty drywall room with a piano in it for no good
In
reason.
Noblesville?
No,
I was gonna say
used to-
like $1,700 for a cardboard box
right
in Noblesville, maybe.
Yeah,
It's fucking
but
crazy.
we have a cute folk Victorian place, and I got a studio that's about a quarter the size of this with all my amps. I got 1,200 albums in there and my stereo and fun stuff. So
How long have you been teaching?
20 plus years.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's how I keep the lights on. I got about 40 students a week, guitar and bass.
Nice.
Wow, that's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's all word of mouth because I don't want crackheads and whatever coming into my house. But I've been there long enough, and you got to know a guy that knows a guy to get my number. And I work all ages and all styles, and it's a pretty cool gig.
Hell yeah, man. That's fucking awesome. How long have you been? I wanted to say silent. How long have you been hawking hawking gear, man.
Oh gosh. So I came to
He's a pro.
Indy because after I graduated from Ball State, I had nothing on the ball, and I was trying to get and I was trying to do stuff, music, anything. That's where my heart was, and obviously still is. So I was trying to find anything to do. And anyway, a relative of mine knew someone at IRC Music in Greenwood. They didn't need someone, but they needed someone at the Castleton store. I got a job at IRC Music in Castleton. I mean, this is like the year 2000, like literally. Yeah. And so that's kind of my origin story to come into the Indianapolis area. And so then I started playing, started playing with Ramble Grid. Then I started doing, I met Jeremy Vogt, started playing pedal steel.
Is that VOIGHT?
No, it's spelled, it's VOGT, but you say it like you're going to elect someone.
Okay.
So
I feel like I know him.
You may.
You mentioned Caleb earlier. I've known Caleb for a hot minute.
Yeah. So
met him through Andrew Gustin.
Yeah, so now these days I'm
a small town. It's kind of weird.
I'm his bass player now.
Being from, well, I mean, what 80 in your high school, 74 in my high school.
Apples to apples. I graduated from Warren. My graduating class was like 1,600. Yeah, for sure. Like
a small town kid. I thought this was going to be a huge get lost in the mix kind of thing. But when you find your niche in the music area, you find out it's a bit small.
Yeah,
and it's fun.
So true story. For years and years, the only place I would buy my strings, the only place I would buy my guitars, IRC.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I used to go down to Greenwood most of the time, but I would go up to Castleton quite a bit.
Oh yeah,
isn't that a Christian place?
Is it? I have no idea.
I mean, it came and went. I mean, when the day I got hired, it wasn't. The couple weeks after I was hired, it went back to the guy who was very Christian. So
for me, the reason why I kept going back and I was just like, this is my home, is because the people that worked there were fucking nice to me.
They're nice to you,
and
I mean, and odds were high they knew it. At least when I was there, the people knew what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have many people in there that were schmucks and didn't like know what was going on.
Yeah, back when I was a kid or a young adult, like I would go to this guitar store, that guitar store, and they were just snobby people, you know what I mean? But every time I went to IRC, everybody was just, just always nice to me and fucking.
And I mean, I've heard every story to the contrary, and I get
no shit.
No, I mean,
maybe it's because I didn't go to Castleton as much. I don't know, but Greenwood, they were just super cool.
Well, I would like to say though that I have a brand new friend because I ordered some flat wound bass strings from Sweetwater.
Oh,
I got a text, I got a phone call, and an email from. I really felt sick.
As an adult with a credit line, I'm American Musical Supply, so and I got like a contact, a specific person that I work with, whatever.
I do, and I'm like, I'll let you know when I need something. I will be there.
So where are you working now? Are you still hawking?
No,
the band origin is between Paul and Brandon. So we gotta put the pharmaceuticals on the line here,
guys. we are big pharma.
Yeah, I didn't say that when you were talking about the pushers, but these guys.
Yeah, so we that's how we met each other.
So you guys work at Roche Diagnostics? Is that? Do you love how I could have said Lily, but I was like, these are Roche guys. These are Roche guys.
Roaches.
Yeah. We were cubicle neighbors.
Yeah.
Right on.
And Brandon had some rock and roll posters
Chopped
up in
liver
his
gets to
cubicle.
the origin story real quick.
I actually had an interview with them at one point, but I ended up not doing it. So now I just build computers for another big fucking company,
Hey,
so
I get it.
And I'm not gonna say it on this podcast because I know these motherfuckers be watching it, and I do not want to get pinned. I'll show up to work tomorrow and be like, "You're fired."
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, I've told entirely too many stories about tripping on acid or being in Rome and doing cocaine. I will not admit where it's specifically that I work to protect my job.
Yeah,
So
that's fair. I don't blame you. I
yeah,
don't blame you.
yeah. Don't do
I've
that.
only got 7 more days though. I'm out of Roche
Yeah, he's moving.
on
Oh.
next Friday.
So you're still at the company where you guys met?
Yeah, I've worked there 16 years. You're probably been
Holy
there, like, how long?
crap.
18,
I have a long
something
time.
like that.
That's
Wow.
amazing, man.
It's I started there because we moved back here to have kids, and I needed some health insurance, and
I
my
have
wife
to
had
listen
worked
to
there.
the work chatter
Yeah.
every band practice.
Oh,
But I
lucky
mean,
you.
it's a Swiss company, so it's really, really
Yeah,
good benefits.
I work for a Swiss company too.
It's really good benefits, and
Hell
you
yeah.
know, it's what it is. But
Hell yeah.
yeah,
What's up?
yeah. We started off. We were working on they had like a call center there for diabetics who call in for help with their machines, and that's how we got into that world. And
Yeah.
the next thing you know, you're playing in a rock band.
Yeah.
I mean,
See,
it's the obvious
and just to
stepping
be
stone.
clear, like people that come on do the show and like do a show here and like once a year or just here and there, whatever, it's fine. But if you're doing it twice a week,
Right.
yeah, it's a little bit of a heightened magnifying glass. So I don't discuss where I work specifically
Yeah.
because it's like constant.
Right.
you know,
Yeah,
So
I get it.
but that's I was we all got to work, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
man,
So
you do.
if I said the company that I work for, there would be scrutiny because it's like, when you work for big companies like that,
Yeah.
they like to drop the ball and fuck shit up. You know what I'm saying? So, God, and you said you were up in Kalamazoo for a hot minute. As soon as you said that, I was like, I bet every band he saw wrote songs about 30 minutes are free because Kalamazoo was pizza land. That's where Domino's Pizza resides.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's the home of Domino's
Wow.
motherfucking pizza, Kalamazoo.
Well, but see, if it's clear that they were working in conjunction with the big three, because with their promise to get the food there as quickly as possible, it increased wear, tear, and accidents on vehicles, thereby spurring more purchase of automobiles. And they were polluting.
I know
Believe
a
it.
ridiculous fact that most people don't realize. The end of the 30-minute or free, you know where that ended? Mooresville, Indiana. There was a lawsuit. A Domino's pizza driver was going over 90 miles per hour, ran a light and T-boned a minivan with a family in it.
Oh God.
And
For pizza.
to get a pizza there on time,
Oh.
and it ended the whole phase right here in Indiana. It's what killed 30 minutes are free. So
Good.
yeah,
Fuck that.
exactly. Yeah, you wouldn't even want to know what they're trying to do. Like the big pizza chains, like
Drones,
well,
That'd be better.
the-
There'd be
the
less traffic.
robots.
let's put it this way: they don't say this, but they're all trying to deliver pizzas in under 20 minutes. All doing it,
How
but
is
they're
that possible in traffic?
Yeah.
well, you know what? I am not in contract and I can talk about this. So what they're doing is they're building more stores and they're building them very close to each other. So, and it's
That's
working.
the only way you
It's
do it. You
working.
have
Any
to be
pizza
within
chain
a
that's
mile and a
following
half.
that
Okay, though, hold on now.
That-
So
nailed it. So if it takes more than 6 minutes from
It's a
said
mile
store,
and a half,
Yeah.
literally.
yeah, they're not. And really, you know who really started this idea? It was actually Jimmy John's. If to be very clear, but all these pizza chains are kind of doing the same thing. But I mean, come on, they can't hire anybody. Nobody can hire anybody right now. So.
well, a buddy of mine tried to order a pizza from Donato's, and he got to a call center in Bangladesh or something.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
We had a birthday party.
That's
for
why
my
their
son.
pizzas are $1
Did-
billion.
Did he get different topping options?
We had like 15 pizzas coming for Henry's birthday party, and we went to pick them up, and they were closed. And
What?
and they like nobody mentioned that. And they're like, "Oh, you were talking to a call center," and then nobody
Are
let
you
you know.
fucking kidding
yeah,
me?
yeah.
Well, shit.
I love Donato's. By the way.
Yeah,
What'd you
it's good.
do?
They're big
We had to go
downtown
to
in
like
sandwich.
just
Woo.
the next closest place. Like there's like a Domino's around the corner or something. But that's the way service is just gone.
Oh yeah.
Back to the pandemic. Like if I worked as a waiter for many years in nice restaurants, and I'm pay attention to what goes on in restaurants.
We got
And
a
it's
Pizza King
crazy.
fan here, Jeanette.
Crazy how bad service has gotten. Like nobody can get anything right. Nobody can do just the basics. Everywhere you like, doesn't matter where you go, just about.
That's why
Mhm.
vegans can't trust anyone.
Oh yeah.
I will go places where I know the people working and that they love me, care for me, and still accidentally put cheese on my burritos. It's like, oh,
Oh, are you okay with that? Is that going to be okay? That's
right?
That's what this girl said to me the other
Yeah.
day. We were like, you brought me the wrong drink. And she's like, oh, is that going to be okay?
Fuck
Like,
that.
no, it's not going to be okay. Like, this is not what I ordered. Is
And
that
then
going to be
get
okay?
mad at you. For,
Yeah,
like
like, it's
asking
like,
you to make
yeah,
it correctly.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So
God.
We all know
here's a
they
good
absolutely-
I
example.
don't care
of
about the man.
the customer service being dead. I went one morning. I went out. My ex-girlfriend wanted McDonald's. It was like 5:30 in the morning. I was like, I got you. I'll get this. I'm gonna get that motherfucking that McDonald's bagel sandwich or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got this. And I went to the closest McDonald's, and they're open, right?
I know you want.
They closed. So I go to the other one that's like north of there, and they're open, right? They're closed. And then I'm like, I drive like 6 miles to another one, and they're open, right? Nope, they're closed.
no.
And I was like, all right, this is it. And I text her, I'm like, hey, I've been to 3 McDonald's to get this motherfucking bagel breakfast sandwich. And I went to the last one, and they were open, like they were literally serving. But that's pretty much what it's like in Indy right now.
So I don't understand why. Like people
Because
still need
when-
money, right?
So I asked him because I wasn't mean. I'm not that kind of person, but I was like, is there what so what's going on? Why are you open but you're not open? And literally of the 3 that I went to, 2 of them said because everybody called in.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
happens.
And then the other one was like, hello? And then I was like, all right, moving on. You know what I mean? Like, it was just dead silence.
Every place is trying to run with 4 people too, like in the whole, in the whole store. It's like, yeah, we've got 2 to 4 people here, and that's
So if
That's
2
all
of
there
them
is.
call off,
Yeah.
Yeah.
fucked.
yeah.
It's ironic because
Okay.
we're getting shitty service, but that bottom line is fantastic.
Totally.
There is not a fast food place that is not running labor right now.
Yeah.
They're all running
And
labor.
they're just like blaming it on like, oh, we can't,
Like, how can it's like at the end of the day, if you're the the guy that gets the checks, the big money, shit, you've got 4 people running a $30,000 a day unit.
Mhm.
You're fucking making money. I mean, that the food labor versus what you're pulling in is insane because people are gonna wait. You're gonna wait 20 minutes for your fucking whatever. Let's go with pick a Arby's fucking
Yeah.
piping hot fucking
For $17.
yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah. If they got 2 people fucking working, they're making money, man. So whatever. It's crazy times. We live in crazy times. But so yeah, normally we talk about drugs, sex, and rock and roll, and we've literally spent the last half an hour talking about food. It is crazy times though. So let's talk about. So you were telling us earlier that you had the show during the pandemic where like that one really fucking drunk person came in and was acting a fool. What other crazy shows? Do you have another one that's pretty close to that? Have you ever had a wild one?
Yeah. So, well, let's go way back. And maybe one good one that is a good story is, when I was in high school, I played in this band called Spam with 4 of my friends. And it was kind of like a, it wasn't like war or anything like that, but that kind of ridiculous, crazy music. And it was like a show, and it was silly and dumb, and it was kind of butt punk. And we'd go play at Michigan State or wherever we could. And we did a show in my buddy's barn, and we were not well received in my little high school in a town like this, right? Where it was like all jocks that were allowed to punch you in the head, and it was like condoned by, everybody, principals, people at my dad's church. Everybody's like, oh, that's okay because they're gay.
Oh no.
Even though, even though we weren't, but it was like a very volatile kind of thing. But it was also the kind of thing that was really fun to rile people on, rile people up and egg people on. And so, like I was wearing makeup to school, and there were always like great fights, and not great fights, but like things happening. Like once we had to get like a police escort home from a show at our high school once, because there was like a legion of local dumbasses that were out there to kick our ass after the show. But there was one that we did, this was probably before it, that maybe caused that, is we invited all these guys out to my buddy's barn, and because his parents were out of town, we had a big party. We played a show at his barn. We're like halfway through the set. Our singer, Aaron, feigned to be very sad, and somebody was like, what's wrong, Aaron? You seem so sad. And he was just like, and we're like, oh, are you feeling down, buddy? What would make you feel better? Oh, how about your teddy bear? Would your teddy bear make you feel better? And he was like, yeah. And we're like, well, here's your teddy bear. And he starts to hug his teddy bear, and then he starts to kiss his teddy bear. And the teddy bear was actually stuffed full of grape jelly, like full of grape jelly. And then he proceeded to like fuck the teddy bear and rip it apart in front of like the football team, like the Cowtown,
Wow.
And I was wearing a jock strap, I think, for that just a jock strap for that show. But at one point we like cleared the barn, like everybody ran outside. And then we were hanging out afterwards, and I remember just, I'm talking to all these guys, and one guy from the football team is just like, what the fuck, dude? Like, because I was still just wearing just a jock strap,
What the fuck?
Sounds very punk rock, Paul.
Yeah.
Oh.
Fuck yeah. Hell yeah.
It's good thing to do in your youth.
Absolutely.
A teddy filled with jelly.
Yeah, I got nothing after that.
Like, what the fuck?
The mental image, though. It's fucking great, man.
I can remember, trying to make sure you got paid and having difficulty with that. I can remember, a lot of, too much consumption times, but I don't think I ever remember.
We had broken arms and bloody noses at the Jerry Springer Band shows, but we weren't threatened by the jocks because it was a punk rock town anyway.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We played a show once up at Michigan State where we were playing this bass. We used to just go to parties, and we'd be like, yeah, we're in a band. And they'd be like, oh, you guys are in a band? Well, we've got a party right now. You guys want to play it? And we'd be like, yeah, all of our gear is actually in the truck outside. And so we would just go from party to party and play those. And one of them we played like, it was like in a basement, and there was like some light fixture up above that got like hit with the mic stand and then broke all over the floor. And our singer was barefoot and didn't realize what happened. And then we realized, like, after the show, he looked down and his feet were all bloody and stuff. And then one time we played on a balcony. Oh, and this was like in a classic frat house, like it was a big old fancy mansion that had like gone to shit because of all the frat guys living in it.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing. They're like, oh, you guys are in a band, why don't you play it? And we're like, okay, you're not gonna like it, but okay. And then we set up on their balcony, and everybody went in the backyard, and we were playing up on this balcony. And then it started to rain, and we just like kept playing, and then all of a sudden we were just like zzz, zzz, zzz. We started getting shocked, and then we had to quit that one. But since we've been playing, mostly pretty tame. Pretty tame. We've played some really fun, cool shows. We got to play.
We're dad rockers. Come on.
Yeah, we got to play at Possum Hollow down south. Have you ever heard of that? From when that happened back in the day, we got asked to play in the last one that happened, and that was like a really, really fun.
That was a great
show.
time. Mm-hmm. They were projecting all kinds of fun stuff on the trees. That you had a lot to look at.
Yeah, they had the hippie light guys there. I've never seen this done where they use a
It's
overhead
the liquid
projector.
lights dudes from the trap, from the mouse trap. They they did a really good job.
They project it onto the trees, so it's all this texture, and they put it on a really big tree. And so when the wind blows, I mean, I've never seen something that psychedelic.
Totally Van Gogh.
Yeah, it was really, really awesome.
Thank you, Nicholas.
Do you want to take a moment to so we've got the long arm in the house tonight. We got Candace from Rude Girl Baking. And pull up those finals real quick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Those vinyls.
We got
So-
records.
Yeah, hit them up. They're on you guys on Instagram too? I know you're on
We're
Facebook.
on Instagram, Bandcamp, all the places. We've got these 2 records for sale, and we should pitch something too. Brandon made a solo album here,
Hell yeah.
and so brought copies for you guys.
Nod Narb.
But look at this hot
Nice.
stuff here. I mean, look at that.
Orange.
Look at that.
Orange. Hell
No.
yeah.
And on this album, Brandon plays everything. He recorded it, played every
What?
instrument, and
Yeah.
Start calling you Dave Grohl.
mixed it all.
Yeah, that's my thank you. That's my solo project thing I'm doing called Nod Narb. And
Man,
That's so dope.
yeah,
dude,
so
to put out vinyls is such a fucking thing.
So
Like,
boss.
it's
like I'll tell you right now, man. I've never been a part of anything that's put out a vinyl, so it's
Well,
just like
it's
I want to.
it's
Ooh,
clearly
look at that
clear-
candy apple red. Nice.
yeah. I mean,
The other one's a translucent blue. The one
Yeah.
that has your photo on it.
Yeah.
Is that the one in the
Yeah.
middle? It is?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
So
Paul is art and design. He's the man.
Brandon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be
Yeah.
hitting you up about recording for sure.
yeah, I mean, it's something like, so when I go back to when I was starting to make music, and I was in college, and I was learning how to do multi-tracking stuff. I knew back then, I was like, I must create stuff where I did everything. I want to do that. And it only took me until, at this point in my life to where I was making it a reality, but I'm just glad that I'm starting to. And I got 2 more songs. They're going to be released digitally on the 12th, Nod Narb, and it's going to have a little 7-inch.
Nice.
Because I got to put it in my jukebox. So I have a jukebox at home, and something I always wanted to do was like come up with something I put in the jukebox.
Nicholas Wanky said RGB is fire.
Yeah.
That's me. Bird girl baking.
Okay, I was like RGB. Just type it out, Winky. Love you, buddy. Yeah, he's a fan. Hell yeah.
Love it.
Nice.
He's a good dude, man. He's moving back to Florida, right?
No,
No, he's moving to Massachusetts,
it's Maryland.
Maryland, whatever.
It starts with M. It's
Somewhere up there.
He'll be back in November though for
Yeah.
the next show.
That's right. Yeah, I saw that. He's playing. He's gonna move out, and then he's gonna come back and play. He better come back here quite a bit. Shit, I just kicked my mic. Got an itch.
Yeah.
There's so many flies in here, but you know what? You gotta have that fan. It was so hot in here at first. That was a good call. Good call on the fan.
So this is what I brought tonight.
Oh, let's go
This
full frame. We'll go full frame.
is a
Wow.
kitchen sink cookie.
So good.
Yeah, it was delicious.
What all have in it? Macadamia nuts, right?
So almond
Marshmallow.
slices, dark chocolate chips, marshmallows, vegan marshmallows, of course, and that's a white chocolate drizzle on top.
Wow.
Yum.
I'm saving mine for my wife and daughter.
Oh,
Just-
here you can have the extra one.
Oh,
Have that
okay.
one then.
Well, I'll eat that one and then split the other one between the two.
I know that game. Sometimes I'm like, do I
Uh-huh.
tell my daughter that I have this, or just eat it in the car and not tell anyone?
Yeah.
So if you do vegan baking,
Uh-huh.
this is if Tina Rose sees this, she's going to be kind of ticked, but she has some autoimmune issues, and food type things are important because that can really help. So if you're doing gluten-free type vegan and various baking things, we will probably be looking you up because you're not that far. Are you from around here, or where are you?
Indianapolis on the
Indianapolis,
east
east
side.
side.
Indy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you
These are
deli-
not gluten free, but I can make
doesn't
anything
have to be
gluten-free.
gluten free, but
Yeah.
good
I do
ingredients are
deliver.
helpful.
The $20 minimum order for off market orders for whatever you want.
As far as markets or farmer markets, or what? Where do you go?
So they're always posted on my Instagram. My next market is the 15th, which is also on the east side at the Friends Market.
Nice.
All right, let us know when you're coming to the north side. We'll get some.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to put our cameras back?
Oh yeah, I figured we just keep it on you.
She's a lot cuter than we are.
Yeah, that's a fact. Much easier on me.
So, oh yeah, go ahead, go ahead. I already talked too much. You go ahead.
So you're in Noblesville, right?
Uh-huh.
What markets do you like there?
We just do there's local proprietors that we go to. There's a local bakery that we go to on the regular, the farmers market, and anybody that does things for real
Nice.
as much as possible.
Oh yeah, that's dope.
So, all right. So this bottle is by the way, tonight's podcast is brought to you by Benchmark. Anyways, so I bought this for Anita Fest on Saturday. Kind like a tiger played out there, and at some point, I did not know this until right before the podcast started that the bottle cracked, like the lip of it. And what's funny is it wasn't until about half an hour ago, I'm sitting there and I'm doing this. I'm like, man, my lip is like fucking killing me. And it totally hit me. I was like, Sunday morning when I left Anita Fest, I was like, was I like biting my lip or something? Because my lip is like both top and bottom of my lips are like shredded. I'm like, was I like biting my lips? I'm like, I don't do that. And now I'm sitting here like, oh fuck. So yeah, Hot Rod and I have been sitting here fucking sipping on this fucking cracked fucking bottle of fucking Benchmark from Saturday, basically. Cheers, by the way. For
whatever doesn't kill you makes you strong.
Absolutely, yeah. And there's no glass in the bottle, so verified. Although, I mean, I'm sure it wouldn't be the first time one of us is fucking eating glass. So.
Safety first.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Thanks for fucking drinking with me, though, man. Cheers.
Cheers.
Has anybody ever called you Hot Rod though?
Never.
Never?
I mean, this is totally the first time.
You're full of shit. You're full of shit. You're full of shit. You had me though. You had me for a second. I was like, oh shit, yeah. I'm a fucking dumbass.
That was really funny to me.
Wow.
You had me for you really did for like 1 or 2 seconds. I was like,
you couldn't see behind the glasses, right?
Yeah.
I've known Rod for a long time, so I just was thinking in my head, I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
So
I'm thinking probably like first time was like maybe 1979, maybe 8.
Have you seen that movie though, Hot Rod?
I've seen it all.
Oh, dude, I love that movie. Andy Samberg fucking killed it.
Yeah. Papa said, "Son, you're gonna drive me to drinking if you don't stop driving that Hot Rod Lincoln." I heard it all.
Hell yeah. But you have seen Hot Rod, that film?
Yes.
Right on. My favorite part of that film, by the way, is the montage of like the dancing, and then he falls down the hill because they reference fucking Footloose. You know what I mean? And I'm an 80s baby, so I grew up with all that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the first time I watched it, and he started doing like the kick, you know, like the air punching scene. I was like, are they making fun of fucking Footloose right now? I was like, yes, they are.
Now,
Dude.
I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable, but it's usually the ladies that call me Hot Rod.
Oh, okay. Well, it's fine. It's fine. It's all good. It literally dawned on me like 15 minutes ago. I was like, fucking Hot Rod.
Bam. Fishing rod.
Nothing makes me
skewer.
uncomfortable, I assure you with that. Except for, I don't know, spiders on me when I wake up. That makes me pretty uncomfortable.
I'd fucking say so.
Dead silence on a podcast. Unless it's purposely placed silence. But yeah, there are things that make me uncomfortable. But not shit like that. All right. So speaking of film, so we're all very in different ages. I would assume Candace is the youngest. How old are you? 23, right? 24.
I'm 36.
36. I'm 40. I assume from left to right were somewhere between 45 and 55, right? I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking with you.
We are.
That is accurate.
It's factual.
None of you are actually under. I figured you guys were between 40 and 45. So I was like, we're gonna go high and
I'll be 49 in
So
a
I'm the
couple
oldest.
weeks.
I just turned 49 in July.
Aw.
46. I just
Yeah.
look the
A
oldest.
little
Yeah.
pub.
48.
it's the glasses. By the way, those are dope glasses, by
Thank
the way.
you.
He's
Thank
a
you.
he's
I
a,
would-
he's
I would
a,
support
a
those.
cowboy competitive action shooting award-winning champion.
Oh yeah.
He's got a plaque. He's got T-shirts.
I don't have T-shirts, but I do
Oh, you have a
plaque.
T-shirt that says Nacho Hombre,
I do.
which is your shooter name.
I do.
Nacho Hombre.
Yeah, I do. I do a thing called Cowboy Action Shooting, and
What?
Yeah.
yeah. So I've got the whole outfit, and
They dress up like
yeah dress up.
howdy doody cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But it's real.
but it's real.
Right.
And you've got pistol target.
Not
you've got,
Howdy Doody
You've
Bullet.
got rifle targets, and you've got shotgun targets.
And he makes his own bullets.
And yeah, I do make my.
You
own.
make your own bullets.
Sure, I do. That's
Red flag.
Dang.
Red flag.
No, it's
Hey,
an
when
art. It's artisanal.
I know.
Artisanal bullet.
Buy your bullets local. Buy local. Well, when it all goes
Small
to hell,
batch.
Small batch bullets.
when it all goes
That's
to
right.
hell, we're all
Yeah.
going to Brandon's house. So
We know where to go.
When it all goes to hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vegan
I've got
whiskey,
the
isn't that
garden.
vodka?
So yeah, it's something to do, and you just try and shoot all the targets in the order prescribed as quick as you can. It's a time-based contest. Each miss adds 5 seconds on your time, and you know.
Where are these competitions at?
All over the state. I mean, they're all actually all over the nation. You just have to know about it.
Gotta know.
Yeah. So
Well, now
Now we know.
we know. We're in the know.
Live action cowboy.
Live
Yeah.
action
Awesome.
cowboy.
Shooter.
True story.
Yeah. We have band practice in Brandon's basement, and down there with the guitars are
All the
the
loading equipment,
bullets.
reloading equipment.
Yeah, we're smoking cigarettes next to 500 tons
Yeah.
of black
Gunpowder.
powder.
Oh shit.
They,
Oh,
they usually extinguish it on the outside of the bottle.
oh.
I didn't hit the mute button, did I? No. Okay. Just another camera fucking around. Gosh darn, man. These cameras are fucking hating tonight. A little bit. At least it's not our sound. As long as the sound doesn't go out, it's fine. That's the one thing I always like.
It is a podcast.
Damn, look at all these fucking 60 here, bitches. Wayne just turned 60. Yeah, like
It's not a
2 weeks
competition.
ago. Yeah, it's not a competition. Time is relative. It does not exist. Well, technically it does for us because we're on this fucking constant fucking cycle.
Yeah, my looks completely belie how I operate between my ears.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I think I don't know. I just turned 40 this year, and I don't feel a day over like 38. You know what I mean?
I think sometimes I'm stuck at like 15. I don't know.
No, mentally, I'm somewhere around 13 or 14.
I'm like,
but
hey, you guys want to do a rock and roll band? Play at the Nell?
Totally 23 is kind of where I feel like. I mean, it's probably moved back.
Paul, you were
closer
way
to
ahead of me,
30
bud. Way ahead of me, man. Shit, dude.
It's good. It's good not being a dumbass anymore. You know, like
Right.
it's like I
I like how Candace looked directly at me. Right?
You
Shep.
know, now that we're old enough to be taken seriously.
Uh-huh.
It's nice. It's nice to not bang your head against the wall in the same ways, and it's nice to know what you want and know how to get it, know how to do it. It's
No-
like, you know,
to say no,
yeah,
even to your bosses.
yeah. It's nice.
Like
I'm gonna
Paul
write
said.
this down so the
Paul
next
said,
time
"I
I
ain't
get
gonna
on
work here
Amazon
no more."
Prime.
yeah. To take this job and shove it.
Literally.
Yeah.
Fuck it. When you know what's good for you and what's bad for you, that's like a big sign of
That's
maturity.
like a big life thing right there. Is the best place you can be is in a place where it doesn't matter where you work or what you do. If you have the higher ground and you can walk away, it's the best place you can be. So yeah,
Cheers to being grown.
ground.
Grown folk.
All right. So we were talking about film, and I was actually going to drive into a point here. I'm always curious as to like growing up, like what was like your film like that you were like totally hooked on? I'll start. I'll just say Ghostbusters. I'm an
Yeah.
83 baby.
Sure.
So I just grew up
Sure.
watching Ghostbusters.
All right. So for me, it's got to be when I saw Falling Down of Michael Douglas.
Oh, yeah, that's a film
I
right
was just
there.
looking that up just the other night because I've never seen that the whole
Man.
thing.
That movie, I cried at the end of Falling Down.
Oh, my
All right,
word.
so at the very end.
Tears were shed.
Yeah, I'd like to, but still,
That was-
that was the first time I'd ever cried at a movie.
Yeah, that's valid.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
Talk about a bad day.
I mean, and
Woo!
I mean, dude just won some fucking breakfast
Yeah.
on his way to.
Yeah,
but
all
yeah.
he wanted was a Pepsi.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
God damn it.
Totally.
Man, I don't know. I don't know what, there are all the like classic and kind of big popular films, but I didn't go to a lot of movies growing up. Like we didn't go to the theater a lot. We did some. And then when, the discs came out and you could rent them and then VHS came out, we would have like a few at our house, like the people gave us copies of stuff. And so there are certain movies. There was a period of time where we had like 3 movies at my house and you just watch the same thing over and over again. And I do have Karate Kid 2, like
Bam.
pretty much completely memorized, because
Yeah.
we had it and just watched it over and over again.
I know
All right,
that game.
All right, this sounds kind of dumb, but it started the horror movie heavy metal path that I was on from, I don't know, like 6th grade until like I got into college. But when the VHS stuff started coming out, my parents really got into like the horror film genre, which was kind of weird, and it was Nightmare on Elm Street scared the living shit out of me. I could
Fucking
not
bet.
sleep in my bedroom.
Oh,
You know what I
poor
mean? I was
baby.
like sleeping on the floor in my brother's room or sleeping on the floor in my
Aw,
sister's
honey.
room. And, I watched it again probably, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 months ago. I went through the whole classic series of that. And that first one still stands up pretty hard, but it was that 1-2 Freddy's Coming for You, man. That's chilling.
Fuck that.
We saw when I was a kid, I came to stay with my grandparents in Newcastle, and we went over to my cousin's house during the day. And his dad, like it was like 2 PM, had Friday the 13th on in the living room. And we went and we all sat down. The movie had already started, and we just went for a visit, stopped by, and we sat down on the couch. I was probably like maybe like 4th or 5th grade. I don't remember, but too young. I had never seen anything like that. And we basically like lived at a camp growing up. We had this church camp that we were always at. And so I watched this thing that took place at this campground.
Oh God.
And
Crystal
then
Lake,
like
perhaps.
went to this exact same place where I was often there alone, like be like just my family in this whole campground, and it would be empty, or like we'd be walking around it. And
One random wood chipper.
yeah. And that same kind of thing, like that messed me up for years. Like I remember the very next night after watching that, completely not sleeping and being freaked out. And then, for a full year after that, just being like terrified.
I'd seen Basket Case as a kid, fucking Eraserhead. I mean, what the hell? We were questing after the weirdest
What
shit.
the fuck?
Yeah.
We wonder why we're fucked up now. I mean,
Well, and I remember that there was that show. I think it was like called V or something.
Oh yeah, that was
Aliens.
awesome.
I got a Metallica
That
bootleg that has the
they
V.
ripped their skin off and they were these lizards.
It was on
Yeah.
primetime TV.
what the
Sunday
fuck?
nights. It was on
What?
Sunday nights. I remember.
And I remember the first time I saw that, I was like, what? And then I started looking at people like, are you a lizard person?
Aw.
And I am very certain
They're in the government now.
that his last name's Hurd on ESPN. David, I don't know, something Hurd. Colin Hurd. That guy is one of them. I know that someday he's going to be broadcasting on ESPN, and you're going to see that dude, and he's going to just tear his face back.
Oh man, you have been permanently traumatized.
It's going to happen. You just mark my words.
My mom always said scary movies are the devil, and I think this conversation proves her right.
But I really like weird shit though, like the
Mhm.
like the Twilight Zone stuff, and that stuff is
Classic.
still my absolute favorite. I mean, Black Mirror is so good.
Oh, yeah.
It's too close.
Oh, yeah.
It's too close to reality.
Creepy as fuck.
There was another really bizarre one called Liquid Sky. It's LSD driven neon. What the hell am I watching? Kind of stuff. I don't even know how to describe it to this day, but Liquid Sky, look it up, try to watch it, see if you can get through, but it is bizarre.
I have not seen this, so I wrote it down.
Dude, you
Yeah.
might enjoy that.
Yeah, I probably will. I love pretty much everything horror. So
I don't even know if it's horror, but it's just bizarre.
bizarre. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, this is not a horror movie, but when I was a kid, my mom loved this movie called The Young Sherlock Holmes. It was actually produced by Steven Spielberg, one of his little known movies. But there's
Seen
this
that one.
scene where they eat something that's hallucinogenic, and there's this trippy scene in the movie, and it freaked me the fuck out. And I totally blame that film for my uncanny ability to do hallucinogenics. So like the only time I've ever had a bad trip in my entire life is when I did salvia one time. But outside of that, I've believe me when I tell you, I have eaten plenty of shrooms in one sitting and LSD. And I've never had a bad trip outside of that one time. But I blame it on shit like that. Because my brain was already like fucking like ready for it because it just fucked with me so bad.
How did you do salvia? Smoke it?
Yeah.
It's a real quick
Yeah,
thing, isn't it?
yeah, but it's fucking heavy. It's fucking heavy for like 2 minutes, and then the rest of it's just kind of like you're stoned, you know.
And you kind of want a babysitter for that few seconds, though. Right?
Absolutely, yeah. Especially one that cares about you. Yeah, for sure. That shit used to be legal here in Indiana. It used to be
Yeah,
able to
we
buy
know.
it.
I mean, you can grow it easily, right? I mean, you
Absolutely,
grow
yeah. I'm pretty sure you could probably still get like
Go to
salvia
Lowe's,
seeds that
yeah.
fucking yeah.
But
Yeah.
you can't grow them.
Oh, you can buy them, but you can't grow them. Makes sense. Welcome to Indiana.
It's for science.
Whoa, throwing things around.
Yeah.
Set that anywhere.
Have you guys ever experienced a really like crazy trip or a bad trip or anything like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's hear the top notch one.
I mean, the first time I was, just probably way too young, and it was one of these trips to Michigan State with my band friends, and we had been there a few weeks before, got some stuff, tried it, and it didn't work. So the next time we got some stuff, and we thought, oh, this could be the same stuff. Let's do more this time. And it was my first time. And they had those dorm rooms that were connected where they share a bathroom. And there was this guy in this next dorm room over who learned what we were up to in our room. And it started off all great. It was great. And then this guy came over. We kind of started freaking out a little bit. And he came over and started like fucking with us and saying like, just messing with us or whatever. I mean, I was 17 or 16, and I just was not, mature enough and aware enough of what was going on to like even be able to deal with it. But I mean, it was so awesome at first, and then I was just like, I just want to like go to sleep. I just want to go to sleep. And when I made myself like pass out or go to sleep, I had this dream about us like that we all died, and I had this really clear vision of me and my 4 friends. Like there was like I saw the newspaper article that we're dead. And this was the weirdest thing about it. This was the coolest thing about it is I remember being dead, and I was picturing myself. I was in the bottom. I want to do an art piece about this. I still think about it. I was in the bottom of a fish tank, like where the gravel is. And I was under the gravel in the fish tank. And I was like, well, this is it. I'm dead. And I was like, and my parents were fucking wrong about God. There's no fucking God. And it was like, my subconscious was like, oh, that shit is bullshit. And then the next day came down, whatever. We all got up and we're just like, what the fuck was that? What all happened? And I mean, there was all kinds of stuff that happened. It was like this big, long, epic night, but it was just like, it was like the beginnings of my atheism, like poked its head through my consciousness that night. And it was just like, oh, this is totally not real. And it took a while for me, years for me to get back to that. But it was like, there was a little hint there of what was to come, you know?
Mm-hmm. What about you two?
Mine is a 2-part story. One had to do. I mean, we're on YouTube streaming, and I'm self-employed, so
Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and officially X.
Yeah. All right. So the first one had to do with LSD, and I was always a little bit cautious. You know, didn't want to go off the rails, but you know, I took some LSD, hanging out with some friends, and wasn't very experienced with it. And we had some fun out in nature, running around, good times, this and that. And I felt like I came down, we get back to headquarters, and they start, you know, passing the bowl around and this and that and the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that if I was going to get blazed, that's going to rekindle that, you know, tripping factor, right? So I'm hanging out with these dudes in this friend's house, and we're listening to Pink Floyd, Saucer Full of Secrets. And the pipe comes around to me, and I look inside of that pipe, and I see like Army of Darkness, all of these medieval soldiers like crawling up, crawling up. Dead by dawn. Yeah, dead by dawn. Yeah, and I looked to the guy over there. I said, "Did you see that?" And he went. And then so I'm like, "Yeah, I got to get out of here." And so I just went upstairs. And as I was walking upstairs, everyone's like, "Ron's freaking out. That didn't help." But I go upstairs. It was at a place that I knew real well, and I'm laying on this old school like Freudian lounger with these eagle claw feet. And the dude's dad was a total hippie guy. He had plants and this little CD spinner that was shooting these beautiful CD lasers all over the place. And I'm like, okay, okay. Collected my thoughts. I came back down, and they said, "Hey, we thought you were freaking out." I'm like, "No, dude, I'm all right. I'm cool." So that's the end of part 1, right? Okay. So part 2, it's one of those Wisconsin blizzards like we were talking about early in the day in our podcast. It was too fucking blizzardy and snowy, and nobody could find any drugs.
-30
But
outside.
we could get to the local gas station where they had Robitussin DM.
Oh, okay.
Everyone
All
says-
right.
They say, "Hey man, this is kind of like tripping, but it's a little different. It's kind of mushy and kind of
Robo.
weird." And robo. I'm like, "Nah," I'm a little snooty. Like, "I'm not gonna do that." And they're like, "Come on, man, you gotta do that. This is making fun."
We're robo tripping.
No,
Let's go.
man. Yeah, man. I'm not gonna robo trip. And I was just like, I succumbed to the peer pressure, right? Okay, so look, down goes. And then we're trudging through the snow, and we're this and that, and having some good time. Same house, right? Same headquarters, okay? And so we ain't got any weed. Bummer, you know. And so we're all hunkering down in the basement where we all hung out, wishing we all had weed, and our robo buzz is over. And then dude shows up. "I got brownies, man." Let's eat some brownies.
Go.
So I'm robo doing and having some brownies, and then like 6 out of the 8 of the same people were in the same place. But this time we're listening to Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, and we have a cigarette. We're rolling the Jarum or fucking Black Death or Drum or whatever. We were. It was Wisconsin blizzard, man. We were rationing everything. So we were rolling these. Had a little cigarette rolling factory, and then like being for the benefit of Mr. Kite comes on and just like, oh, gee. This is getting pretty intense. I'm like, I gotta get out of here. And everyone's like, it's freaking out. So I go upstairs, same place, same lounger,
Little chase.
plants, little chase lounger with the eagle claw feet and a little CD spinner. And I'm like, holy shit. I'm still here. This is the same thing. And I literally believed that I had hallucinated the last 8 months of my real life.
Oh shit, that is fucking amazing, man.
I remember that being a very clear feeling, like after you had tripped, when you tripped again, feeling that connection. Of like,
Absolutely. It's crazy how
Yeah.
the brain works because
Yeah.
like, for example, right? You get blackout. Okay, hold on. Before I say this, I have not been blackout drunk for like 8-9 years. But back in the day when I was much younger, I would get blackout drunk, right? Like shit faced. And then I would be like, oh, man, I don't remember this. And then the next time I get like really fucking drunk, it all just
Yeah.
comes back.
yeah.
You know, it's your brain. It triggers memories
Yeah.
based off of your condition. You
Those
know what I
lost that
mean?
before.
connections.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy how that fucking works.
Yeah, it's really weird. The first time I did it that time with my friends, the one remarkable thing that seemed really unexplainable, even like after the fact, was we were sitting in this little dorm room and kind of we were like putting our heads together, and we would all put our heads together like this, and there was this known consciousness that one person would have and everybody else would know that they had it. And so picture, this was the visual. It was like there's a ring, and in this ring there's a bubble, and this bubble, one person would have this, like it was like they had the mic, and they would be like up and would kind of like say something, and then they would go back down, and then the next person would come up and say something, but nobody was saying something. It was just that person was like communicating with the rest, and we all knew what was going on. And like after the fact, we would all had that same experience and remembered like this joint consciousness that
Higher,
was being passed around.
higher
Wow.
conscious. Wow.
I mean, who knows what that was, but it was very, very clear to all of us.
Trippy version of that 70s show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I've actually never told anybody this. I might have, but I've definitely never said this on the fucking podcast. But the highest I've ever been, I ate an entire like a plate size fucking brownie, like a THC brownie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude, I've done MDMA, I've done LSD, I've done tons of fucking like mind altering drugs. But the highest, the most fucked up I've ever been, to where I had no control of my motor skills whatsoever. I literally was so fucking stoned out of my mind. I could not move. I was so high. I was so high that I was literally just stuck in this mental fucking like traveling altered fucking experience. But I have this piece of paper in this barn over here in a fucking tub on this piece of paper on this evening. I figured out time travel.
Yes.
And I have it all drawn out, written out, like completely explained mathematically and everything. It's probably bullshit, but it's not the fucking point. The point is, I literally was so fucking high
If you want to know
that
what
I
that meant,
convinced myself.
you have to have another plate.
Right. I was truly convinced that I had figured out time travel, and it all altered and went around this a fucking triangle
Flux capacitor.
by the what's that symbol called? The fucking it's found in everything. Like it's like the universal mathematical.
Like the golden
Fibonacci.
ratio.
Yes.
Fibonacci
So a
spiral.
connection between a triangle and that. And I basically wrote all these notes down and explained everything. But whatever. Oh, what's that movie called? It came out a couple years ago about these spaceships that dropped like 12 different places across the world. And one scientist or doctor figured out that basically time is whatever relative, and she basically figured out how to travel between her Arrival. It's called
I
Arrival.
haven't seen it.
You should probably watch it.
Okay, so
It's interesting.
I've got a this is really true, and this is a little embarrassing, but it was a real something I really experienced. So, and this didn't have to do with psychedelics even. This just had to do with I was probably stoned. I was probably good and stoned. So when my wife and I were in the Peace Corps, we lived in this place really far away from any electricity. So like you've been up north or places where you go get away from all the light pollution and you see the stars, right? But this was in the southern hemisphere, so it's a completely different set of stars than we're used to here, and a completely different set of constellations. So I got a book to try and learn some before I went. I took a book with me. I was like, I'm going to learn these different things in the night sky. And I mean, it was just jaw dropping. You could walk outside the door of our house and look up, and it was just three-dimensional, that three-dimensional thing. And I would go out there and I would look, and I started noticing this occurrence. So there was no flight patterns over where we lived because there's no place to go. And I went out in the middle of this dirt soccer field in the schoolyard next to our house, and I would watch the stars at night and look at the stars. And I started seeing this thing happen where I would see a star and it would go boop and move just like a few inches. And I was like, holy shit, what was that? And I would watch it. And then a star adjacent to it would cross the path of the first star and stay there. And then a third star, which triangulated the two, would cross over the middle of that one. So there were three moving bodies. And this would happen over the course of like a couple minutes. One would move, then like, a minute or more later, the next one would move. A minute or more later, the next one would move. And I could sit there. It was like eensy weensy spidering across the sky. I observed this more than once and then told my friends about it, and they went and saw it too. And we could see this, but it was these, I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
What year are we talking?
1999.
No, this was 2004, probably 2003, 2004.
Yeah.
You think it was a
Night-
satellite?
I don't know. I don't think there would be satellites that would do that.
In 1999, my friend and I were outside of my garage, and we both witnessed a light go. Like, okay, hold on. For the people at home, just imagine this: you're looking up, and this is the sky. What we thought was a star. We both saw it. We're both sober. No alcohol, no weed, nothing. We're both sober, and we see this like a womp, womp, out, just like that. And here we are today. And the thing is, like, a lot of people 10 years ago probably would have not said what you just said or what I just said, because people would think we're fucking crazy.
It made me cry. I shit you not. Like,
Yeah.
It made me cry when I saw it. Like stuff that weirds you out and makes you go like, whoa. And it, like, when I saw that, it was like, oh my gosh, but I don't know. Then there's the part of me that's like, maybe I was just,
Well, that's the thing, is like, here we are today, and there's just tons of proof and evidence, and even like world governments are finally recognizing the things that we're talking about. Like, this is real shit. It's really actually happening. People aren't crazy. People aren't lying. These are actual real things. So, by the way, Paul, this show, when it was like, all right, we're going to do a new show. We're going to call it Midweek Crisis, right? And it's going to be drugs, sex, rock and roll, paranormal. So we've literally covered all the bases. Have either of you two ever, or Candace, have you ever experienced anything paranormal or unexplainable?
Yeah, I can think of one thing from when I was a tiny kid, and like, I really don't know what this was, but I know I saw it. There was this long gravel lane that went to a neighbor house because we lived out in the middle of nowhere. And I know that I sat on our front porch one time, and I saw like this hulk of a car, like you'd think of, you'd see it, where they crush them and stuff. Like, there's no way it could have really moved, right?
Or like a squished up car.
But not completely squished, but like really messed up, right? And I remember it like not making any sound, and I remember seeing it come to the end of the lane. And then eventually it went back the other way.
Oh,
And I don't know. I'll never forget that. That kind of messed me up.
So here's a one. So the house that I grew up in, my parents still live there. We all moved there in 78. I was 4. And there was this black cloaked figure that would usually stand in the doorway with the hands on its hips and just stay there, right? I'd seen this thing. My mom seen it. My brother and sister saw it. I don't know about dad, but we'd all seen that sort of nefarious looking figure. Didn't
For
do
how
anything.
long?
I'd say I was real little. And I think that I'd see like how long did I, from when I saw it to when I didn't see it, or how long would
How many years did you guys like openly know there was a ghost in your
a
house?
couple of years, maybe 2, 3, or 4. So early 80s for sure.
Shit. What'd you do about that? Did you have an exorcist come out?
No, what would happen is I had a small bedroom and I would pull the covers over my head. I had to sleep with the covers over my head for years until I was like in college. I'm just like, I can't do this anymore.
This is so sad.
So we all saw this cloaked figure standing in the doorway. Didn't advance, didn't do anything, just stood there. All right, but the last thing that I remember before I stopped seeing this cloaked figure is I'm sleeping in my bed and I turn over, and I mean I was under 10, maybe 9, 8, whatever, and I look and I see a boy wearing a hat like this, knickers, white shirt and suspenders and tweed twill type shorts, and a huge fucking German shepherd that came pretty close up to his shoulder. And this kid and the dog, like, here's the bed. The kid and the dog was like, I don't know, less than 2, 3 feet away. It was weird, but I wasn't scared. And that was the last time I'd seen the cloaked figure.
Wow.
And I'm still kind of skeptical about ghosts and shit. I thought like maybe I'm like whatever. But like all of our family, mom, brother, and sister and myself saw this cloaked
Yeah, you weren't
cloaked
all
figure.
hallucinating.
Yeah.
Right. And then like that.
You
that
sure it wasn't your dad though? If you guys really, if you didn't see it, I think this has your dad written all over.
Well, and the funny thing is like my grandmother was a very talented seamstress, and for like a 8th grade like Halloween dance or something like that, I had her make me like this fucking cloak. I turned into the thing that scared me, and I scared the shit out of the other kids that were were at the high school dance. They didn't know who it was and if it was me or not, but it was kind of funny. But yeah, we saw that cloaked figure, and the last supernatural thing I saw in the house was a boy and a dog.
That's insane.
Kind of weird.
Yeah.
And so, like, one thing I'm thinking about we're talking about this kind of shit, right? Is like most of us have like these really, at least the way I imagine most of it and the way I perceive it is these super vivid mental snapshots. Is that how you guys sense some
Absolutely.
of these things? Is like there's an essence you felt, but then there's a certain image that is etched in your brain that you affiliate with whatever that moment was.
I think it's the evolution of memory is what all this stuff is. It's like you have this experience because this is the way it is with things that are completely factual, right? Like, so if you went to your Aunt Wanda's wedding and your mom and dad were there and your uncle was there and somebody fell that night, so everybody remembers this at the wedding, and there's various events about the wedding. When you revisit those, like you have a very clear, okay, this is what happened. And then when you go talk to other people about what happened, even with these very factual things, usually somebody else has a wildly different memory of what happened or who it happened to.
Ain't that the
Or
truth?
who was there, right? I mean, it's almost something that you're like, no, I remember this picture in my head. I remember how it looked. And oftentimes, when you get to the bottom of that, you find out like, oh, I wasn't even there. This is something somebody told me, and you create this memory.
For real.
And that memory that is indistinguishable from the most factual thing that you can.
Yeah. Or like every time you remember a memory, you're just remembering the last time you remembered
it, right? So that's what memory is. You're thinking about the last time you thought about it, and you create this story. And after a while, the edges of that story really go away, and it becomes this just kind of blob of a picture to where that's all that's left. And there can be parts of that, or could be parts, there could be no parts of it that are factual.
For sure.
And I think it's really interesting because with memory we all feel so sure
Not
that
me.
these things happen.
Not anymore. I'm at the age where I
mean,
follow everything
see,
if
yeah.
my memory serves
One of my
me.
Right.
favorite things
I'm
about
learning
what you're
that.
saying, though, is when multiple people experience the same thing and have the exact same memory.
Yeah. But
And
is that the story though? Because they also tell it to each other.
here's the thing. Like, this is a good example, but I mean, statistically, the odds. Okay, I'm sitting in my living room. It's Tuesday in 2013, and I'm waiting for the 2 band members to show up at my house. Dennis shows up, and then Nick shows up. When Nick shows up, we go downstairs to the basement to have band practice, right? I lock the door. At the time, it's just me sitting there. So they show up, we go downstairs, and per usual, we walk up, sit at the bar. I had a bar in my basement. And we're sitting there talking. We're just shooting the shit before we actually started doing this band practice. And, doing a couple shots, whatever.
Sure.
And we're sitting there. We're just hanging out, talking about whatever. And out of nowhere, we hear this voice, prominent female voice, yell down the stairs, "Hello?" And I'm behind the bar. of
Was
course.
it Nick Jordan's mom?
No, but they both are across from me. They're actually at the bar, right? And they both lean back in their chair, look up the stairs, and they go, "Hello?"
Oh, what the fuck?
And I mean, we all have the exact same memory. There's no wishy-washy. Nick walks upstairs, doors locked, nobody else is in the house. There's no TVs on. There's nothing. That's the kind of shit, though. That's like,
They heard it as well, and they were all like,
yeah,
Yeah.
we, it's all the same memory. Like, and it was loud and clear. It's like one of those moments where you wish you had like a fucking phone recording or just something in. It was so fucked up that the next week, instead of having band practice, we had like a ghost hunting thing where we walked around and had recorders and were videotaping and all that stuff because it was so unreal. And to be honest with you, after that, there were other things that fucking happened beyond that. But
So did you capture anything?
No. But
and thank you for being honest about that because
Dude.
because I have a big problem with those fucking we're on a ghost hunt shows and they go out there and they like come up, a mouse farts.
Yeah.
5.
yeah.
I can hear the spirit
I can
speaking
hear
to us.
Yeah, and it's like, can you fucking really? Can you really?
I love the
I'm a
the
skeptic.
noise
Yeah.
boxes. Oh man.
It's like where it switches from radio station to
Yeah.
radio station.
And like there's like complete sentences and all that
Yeah,
stuff. And it's just like
how to navigate.
Yeah.
I mean,
but-
it's like cut, great acting. I mean, just that's a wrap.
Dude, I loved the show Ghost Hunters until they fucked up and they got caught trying to fucking like pull some shit off. And it's like, God damn it. You're ruining it for all of us that wear tinfoil hats. Like, come on, man. Like,
It's the real.
yeah. But
I mean, there is no fun in that. You're right.
Yeah. Because you got to be, just at the right place at the right time. And some shadowy figure in someone's house.
when I was 8, I saw a shadow person. But, I was 8 and I was like going to check the Christmas presents and open up the basement door. That's where we had our Christmas tree and everything set up in the basement. And I opened the door and there's a fucking silhouette of a fucking shadow person standing at the top of the stairs.
And it wasn't Santa.
No, but it scared the fuck out of me.
Well, yeah, and I think of like I can remember the last time. So my mom died when I was 5, right? And I remember the last time that I talked to her, and I have no reason to remember the last time I talked to her.
That's wild.
And I even know for a fact that I called out and said to her, because I'd never seen her that sick before. I was like, oh no, you're going to die. And of course she's like at that point in time, they had no idea what was going on. So like, she was like, "Oh, that's ridiculous." No, I'm fine. You know, But yeah,
But you said that.
But I
do,
said,
do other people remember that? Like, if
no,
you
that
talked
was a
about it in your
private.
family?
That was a private conversation
Oh,
I had
just
with
between you and
just
her.
between.
Rod. Oh yeah, man.
Wow,
So
that's heavy duty.
Cheers, everybody at home. If you're drinking, take a shot.
Drink.
Ron and I are taking a shot. It's not very often that I get somebody on the show that is shot to shot. So cheers, bub. Cheers.
If this was a week later, I would.
I gotta work. I gotta work at the crack at 3 tomorrow. So,
Oh,
a medical
man.
thing coming up.
and then I got a gig, so I'm good.
Getting old.
all right.
Is it a colonoscopy?
I have got to get that fucking can of
It's just liver function test.
Okay, that's important.
Yeah.
Liver function.
Yeah, it's good. It's good when that works.
What's going on?
I need my fucking drink. I didn't want to ask you to
Oh, it's all good.
Taste the rainbow.
Skittles.
Oh, is that one of those? Is that the flavor of the beer?
No, this is a C4.
An energy. drink.
Energy drink.
Okay.
I bought one a few weeks ago and I made a joke. I was like, follow me for more of water substitutes. And I'll tell you what, like these are, I don't even consider these like energy drinks. They're health drinks. Like they're
Yeah.
loaded with.
I mean, they
Do
gotta
you
be.
do you have a water? I've been doing these
I have.
fermented things.
You want? I have this water.
I'll pass on
Do you
that.
need? I have beverages.
Yeah.
What do I have?
Something that's not whiskey.
You want to chug some of that, man? This is actually pretty good
I'll
stuff.
take the green one.
Oh yeah, we have. There's beer. Oh wait, it's not beer. What is that? What is it? It's like bubbly shit.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a Miller Lite in there. Would you look at that? There's a Miller Lite in there too.
Yeah.
The craziest things you look in
Water
the refrigerator.
products.
Is that? Oh, that's Crow. Is that
LaCroix.
LaCroix?
What do you make down there?
I
feel
hate
like
bubbly
this
shit.
is Wisconsin based, is it not?
I don't know, but I'm really thrilled with the fact that we have actually covered all of the bases in which that I wanted to do from the start of like doing these podcasts. We've covered it all.
Good job.
The funny thing is that this feels like long arm without the rock band practice.
Hell yeah, man! I mean, that's what we're supposed to be
You know what I
hanging
mean? Like,
out,
this
man.
is the in between shit that happens when we're not jamming.
Hell yeah, man! Hell yeah! That means
point.
we are having a fantastic show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. So
Thanks for bringing us together, Shep.
absolutely, amen. Not during the pandemic. Anyways, so all right. So if you watch the show, if you know the show, I better not do it. Fucking drugs, sex, rock and roll, paranormal, and then what's the last one? Candace, you want to spit it? You want to be the first to say it out loud?
What is the last one?
What's the last thing we do in the last 30 minutes? And we literally have some like 30 odd minutes. What do we do?
What's in the box?
What's in the box? So we're about to get random as fuck.
Okay. I love it.
What's in the box? So we're about to
Box.
fuck shit up. And by the way, like I nonchalant did not give a fuck, even though like every week I'm like, why is this question in here? But I actually went ahead and like put everything back in so we can like talk shit about these stupid questions. Okay. All right, here we go. We'll pass the box around too. Let's get rid of that. That's trash. Like I felt it. I could feel it. It was like, ooh, that's a bad one.
You can sense it.
So
Wow,
yeah,
man.
so I'll pick the first one. We'll start with Rod, and then we'll move our way around. I'll answer last, and then Rod, I'll hand you the box, and then you pick one. Now, first of all, if you don't like the question you pulled, don't read it. Toss it. Like, and when I say toss it, I mean crumble it up,
Okay.
and make sure
it
that
on
I don't
fire.
ever do that again. Okay, because I will throw those questions back in the box because I just don't have time. So, all right, here's my question, maybe.
All right.
And by the way, put it in the camera if you're gonna read it. All right, so we'll do it. I don't know if everybody can read that. This camera is like the worst camera of the show. What is your favorite liquor, Rod? Your favorite liqueur or liquor? Sorry,
Liquor.
it's liquor. It's not liqueur. My bad. Your favorite liquor?
I like
your go-to.
I like a high quality bourbon or whiskey. Good whiskey.
Good whiskey.
That's cheap, but I don't always buy it. I don't always buy it, but I get to have it sometimes.
Hell yeah! There you go.
That's the
It's
best
like
kind.
me and cocaine. One in Rome. Hell yeah.
I mean, I've had some of the best through cool friends. I've experienced the unicorns in life,
Mhm.
and good bourbon, high quality bourbons, high quality scotch, good Irish whiskey.
Hell yeah.
My
My twin brother's the one for me. He's always the guy that's like, I got this whiskey for you for your birthday. And it's like a fucking $150 fifth of fucking whiskey. He's
Yeah.
like,
yeah, hell yeah.
the badass, man.
Yeah, I experienced the blue Johnny Walker blue
Yeah.
from this guy.
Hell yeah.
Some
Yeah, love me some Johnny
really
Walker.
old shit, some Pappy Van Winkle family kind of stuff from another frou bourbon guy that's just wants to share. Good whiskey is my favorite.
Hell yeah. Cheers to that. You're talking to the right guy. I love my whiskey.
And cheap whiskey if I can.
Yeah, dude. Fucking benchmark, baby. $15.99 for a half gallon. It is dope. It's good.
It is the benchmark. It says so.
Yeah, it really does set the bench. Anyways.
So I would say, or do I have a different question, or do I expand upon?
Oh no, yeah, we're all gonna
right,
answer this.
So I largely echo what Rod
William
says.
Luru Weller, uncut, unfiltered from this guy.
Yeah, there's this one stuff that's really tasty.
I told people at the last bourbon night, and they're like, "Oh,
Yeah, it's they usually the stuff you get is cut with water, right? But if you get this one kind, they don't cut it with water, and there's sediment in it from the barrel and everything.
Oh
and
shit!
it
Sediment.
it's like 115, 130, between 115 and 120.
All right, what's the
Is that
name of
even
this? I need to
legal?
write this down because anything over 100 proof whiskey, I'm about that life.
LaRue Weller, I think it is.
Well,
yeah,
Ooh.
yeah."
Where do you get this?
You get it one time of year in the fall, and you got to be paying attention because when it comes in, people snatch it up.
Sounds like shrooms.
Pretty much. It'll make you see stuff.
It's getting close to unobtainium with
Yeah.
regular people dollars.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't.
That's going to be a $500 bottle.
I haven't had
nowadays.
a bottle in years, but I used to get them all the time. But also, what I was going to say is, I think another thing that, although I love all those brown whiskeys that Rod mentioned, I really enjoy a good mezcal, right? I mean, and not a crappy
Yeah.
one. I don't want a crappy one. I'm going to be bougie here, and I'm going to say I want a good mezcal.
You
and
want
a nice
20
smoke.
burros?
I want the nice smoke. I want the whole thing. Yum, yum, yum. Give me some of that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because I second both of those things, and I normally like brown liquor and scotch, and mezcal has also become the thing that's just like, if I'm out where I'm just having just one that I'm not buying the whole bottle, because like Rod mentioned, the affordable whiskeys also are the more common ones that make it home with me, and and even then you can get great scotch at Costco for $18. Their blend is really good blended scotch, and it's the cheapest. But yeah, I like the the Lefroy, really smoky scotch. Love it. And then that's what connects to mezcal, is just that smoke. But it also is like got that sweet and spicy side to it too. That's so good. I think it's
really nice.
Hell yeah.
yeah. And yeah,
I wish.
So
I
you're
could.
saying scotch?
I'm saying both. I'm saying I agree with both of you.
Hell yeah.
The smoke,
Yeah.
the dirt.
Yeah. I'm less of a bourbon. I mean,
You're not.
no,
brown,
like
brown.
bourbon's never blown my mind like
What's up,
the
Clint?
other two have.
Clint just chimed in. He's like, "What's going on here? We talking cheap scotches? Hell yeah.
Caustic is in the name.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing with the really good stuff is like, I like accessibility and like to be able to consume it. And if I can't afford it, that's a special Christmas time
I'll
thing.
tell you what, that franchise retail chain does a pretty good job on their booze.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not plugging, but
On the all that Evan Williams stuff.
Yeah.
Anything with a name in it, Jack, Jim, Evan. Oh God.
you're on the bench.
Yeah. But you know what's funny though? I've always
How about heaven? Do you like heaven? Your bourbon?
wait. Isn't heaven a
Heaven
place on earth?
God, heaven isn't too far away. It's closer to us every day. We're back to
Oh
heaven. We're back
man.
to the
I
beginning.
literally just made a Wilson's reference
Early times.
on the podcast.
I know early times as well, Clint.
Early times, yeah. I don't know what it is about fucking whiskeys or bourbons with fucking names in it. I just
Well, then if you
I'm
got
glad they haven't made a Todd. I would not drink.
I
would not drink.
It's a hot toddy.
Here's a Todd Smith.
Oh shit. But you know what though? You never hear people talking about like cheap vodka or cheap gin.
who wants
But
dark
but
eyes?
gin,
I do.
you can have a really like some cheap
shots of
gin.
fucking
That's
gin.
not-
What?
I'm too old for that shit.
Well, obviously, I prefer top shelf anything.
Amen.
Sure.
Fuck yeah.
But vodka
That
to
hurts me.
Oh yeah, I never
Like what vodka though? If you're like I'm buying the cheapest bottle that I'm willing to actually buy.
My favorite is Tito's, and
Tito's.
whether or not it's the cheapest depends on what state you're in.
Interesting.
But it is a very
That is a
cheap
solid fucking
base
point.
level
Yeah.
vodka though, isn't it, Tito's?
Wild
Yeah.
Turkey is your buddy. Chef.
Wild Turkey, yeah.
I'm down with Wild Turkey.
hold
101.
on.
Wild Turkey 101. 's
101.
outside.
That's not fair. I am allowed to answer this question myself. That is not cool, man. But yes, well, turkey.
We're never
you're
coming
fucking
back. We're never
You
coming back to
fucking
this
got me.
podcast again.
no, whatever.
Right.
Dude, you guys definitely have to come back. You know what's funny? Like the more we sit here and bullshit and talk, the more memories of us hanging out in the fucking smokers garden at the Melian and like shooting the shit face, hanging out after the show are coming back. I'm like, yeah,
That's 100%.
fuck yeah, man. So what is it? What is your go-to liquor?
Tito's.
So that's
Vodka.
Vodka.
That's
See,
become,
I
like, a
figured you were a
big thing in
tequila.
the past 5 or 10 years.
Why
Like,
is-
Tito's is
They've
Yes.
blown up.
Okay,
Yeah.
my question here though is how high of a tier, how high of a money level
idea what's
can you get with a vodka? Not trying to get like poo poo and cranky about vodka because that's a great drink. It's
Well,
a
you know,
classic drink.
Well, if anything, that's an argument for vodka.
Wait,
Well,
Right.
right.
He has to
No,
pick a
I'm not-
question,
I'm not
right.
against it, but the
Yeah.
thing is like your bourbons and your scotches and everything and your tequilas, like you can spend like a fucking stupid amount of money. So
Yeah.
what is the most expensive vodka, and
I
is
guess
it worth?
$100 is the most I've spent on a
Oh.
bottle for me
Clint, you
personally.
said-
And did it
I
make
don't
a
know.
difference? Not arguing.
it
Yeah.
doesn't age, right?
Yes,
Like they don't age
absolutely.
vodka in wood, and so
The
it doesn't
expensive
have that part in it.
The expensive vodka tastes far closer to water than the cheap vodka.
So that's the
Mm.
goal.
That's the goal for me.
do you know
I think that's
always.
the goal
though,
for,
like
for vodka, right?
y'all look at
I
the
mean,
screen.
literally.
Y'all look at the screen. I just want y'all to know. As soon as I
Cool.
read that, I puked a little bit in my mouth.
I used to drink that.
I want your
A
skull.
lot of screwdrivers, Bloody Marys.
What's that?
Yeah,
Kamakacha
I
vodka,
Smirnoff,
$7.99 for a
the
fucking half
wind,
gallon. Oh my god!
Like when it's blind taste test,
Yeah.
that Smirnoff, which is a lower medium end,
Wins.
they win
I
the
believe you.
awards, and because that's always
How
kind
does
of
this
the
work?
shocker.
So I
Tito's
picked
is
the,
yeah,
better
you pick the
branding.
question, and then
Yeah.
Brandon's the
Yeah.
first one to answer.
I always
You have
thought
to
Tito's-
know.
I mean, I remember seeing it,
You're-
but and
All right.
then next thing you know,
yeah,
turn
you were
around and
you were
it's-
supposed to
it's
read the
everywhere,
question,
like,
but it's okay.
I'm supposed to read the
marketing.
question. Oh, and I'm supposed to show the thing. And then,
Yeah.
All right.
I'm being so particular, like it really fucking matters.
Well, we need to keep the decorum clearly.
So what's the question?
It says, what's your fave scar on yourself?
My fave scar on myself.
I know.
Go.
Can I answer first?
Yeah. Do it.
My where I was circumcised.
Hey!
Push
That-
a button for that.
Thank you for sharing.
I mean, what scar
Oh my god!
better? You know,
Wow.
the end of my penis. You know, favorite scar, like by a long shot.
That is the best answer to that question ever.
Don't
It is a bit
circumcise your
ass.
boys.
Yeah.
y'all.
Oh, I didn't, but I didn't have a saying when they did it to mine.
Yeah,
but
right. That's the point.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure when you came out, you were yelling and screaming, right?
I mean, I can answer this, but it's so stupid now.
Yeah, go
for
it.
Right? I have a scar you can barely see on my knee because I was at church camp when I was a kid and running, and there was all this asphalt, and I tripped over
yeah.
something on the asphalt, and I just completely
Ate
ate
shit.
it. Yeah, just So I mean, that's so uninteresting.
All right, we know about Paul.
My
Moving on down.
favorite star? I don't know if I have any.
Oh, do we
favorite
get to
ones.
show them too?
Mine has-
Oh, Paul, I don't know, man. I don't
Not
know.
yours.
This
I
is
knew I could work
like-
this in somehow. That
we-
was mine.
we can
on my
get
list
away with
today.
quite a
Shows
bit
about
on this
sex.
show. Like we
Drugs.
could talk about pretty much everything we want, and it's not going to get taken down. But when it comes to nudity, we're kind of like the Melody Inn. No nudity. But
So mine was at a summer camp. It was a cheerleading church summer camp at Taylor University. My aunt was
There
running
you
it,
go.
and we were doing a scavenger hunt, and we were like on our way to the next thing, and then I slipped on that white gravel, that white dusty ass
Oh, yeah.
gravel. Tore up my knee. Everyone was pissed at me because then I had to go to the nurse and they couldn't continue the scavenger hunt, so we totally lost.
Oh, you blew it.
Yeah,
man.
fucked up, guys.
You still have it?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right, so I've answered this one too many times, so I'm gonna tell it one. You might be able to see it, but I have this little dot right here on my wrist. You probably can't see it. Whatever. Anyways, I have this little dot, and I was playing. I played baseball forever when I was a kid, and I was playing center field one game, and somebody hit a bomber, and so I had to start going backwards, and I'm running backwards, and not completely like Willie Mays or whatever, but I caught the ball as right before it almost goes over the fence, and I catch it. And when I catch it, I grapple it and I turn my arm downwards, and my arm went. You know what I'm about to say? That fucking fence spoke went whoop, right into my fucking wrist, like right in. And for whatever reason, you can actually like, I can't. When we can all get up, I'll show you that. You'll see the fucking scar. It's literally like right there. It just barely missed all the things. But
Did you like have to go to the emergency room?
no,
Just
no.
just went bonk. pulled it
Yeah,
up.
went in and then came up, and
Did
it
you
just
keep
bled
the
for a
ball?
while.
Did you make the
Yes,
catch?
I fucking did.
Yeah.
Yes, I was good at fucking baseball.
So you guys want to hear?
Y'all can sit over
guys.
here.
Do I answer the question since I picked the answer?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
So you guys gotta help me decide. Do you want to hear car crash or cat scratch?
Cat scratch fever. Let's
Cat-
go.
cat crash.
Cat
Mhm.
crash.
Mhm.
Wait,
Cat
wait.
crash.
What was the options again?
Car
Cat
crash,
scratch.
car crash or cat scratch?
Cat scratch.
Okay, cat scratch. So I had this really cool black cat. I always wanted the cool black cat. I was going to call him Felonious. But this cat found me and his name was Onyx, right? They were going to throw him away. I'm like, you can't fucking throw away this cool black cat. I'm going to take him. Coolest, black, sleek, cool dude cat. Totally mellow. Love this guy. Slept with me in the bed, you know, hanging out, doing this and the other thing. And one time I'm sleeping and I kind of turned away. Onyx is sleeping where he always sleeps and everything's cool, man. We did this probably like, 500 times. And I move and Onyx freaks out and he runs the fuck across my face. He runs.
Oh no.
He runs with claws out hard. You can't see it, but he runs hard, fast claws across my face. Could have got my eyeballs. Onyx is cool. He ain't going to get my eyeballs, right? but this cat went "Meow," and ran, and he went fucking sliced. Brandon, can you?
I can see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see it
Okay.
from here.
right. All right, and then so that was like 1 week before I was going to go to my best friend's cool ass Bahamas destination wedding. And I was the best man.
Oh, no.
You have to get stitches.
Well, I didn't have the proper insurance, so I
Yeah.
just put some super glue and a band-aid on it, and I tried not to have any expressions.
Yeah.
I probably should
Aw.
have got stitches, but I didn't. And so yeah, that motherfucker got me in the face.
Fucking cat.
Fucking cat.
Damn it.
Cats.
So before we move on to the next, you already answered that one, right?
Yeah.
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 It is lame as
All right.
Did you already pull a question?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Paul jumped
You
ahead
guys, you guys
over
want
the
to shout out real quick?
Sure.
All right. You want your cameras the best. So we got some members of the First Church of Cannabis in the house.
Not just members, we are.
Oh, yeah.
ministers in training.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
We've got Pixie and Sky up in this motherfucker. What's up?
Hi, I love
Hello,
you.
I love you.
Oh, that was so sweet. They're both like, I love you. Oh yeah, welcome to the Luscious Loins of
Double
LaBelle,
Bell.
Indiana.
Yeah.
Oh
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, we found out at service tonight that Sky is also a minister in training, and on December 27th, we will both be officially ordained through the First Church of Cannabis and have our first service, which makes us official ministers.
Very nice.
I run the food bank and the feeding, the program that we use to feed the homeless through the church.
I've got a button for you.
Oh, hell no.
Oh no, I was supposed to say, oh hell yeah, that's the wrong one. Oh.
Close. Thank you. We went out and served
Damn it.
on the west side for the first time on a Tuesday yesterday and found out that there's another church that serves our exact route on Tuesdays, but we took Tuesdays because we didn't think that anybody else was doing Tuesdays.
yeah.
So we pulled up behind this other church and we were like serving out of the trunk of our car, and they've got 2 big buses, and we're like, okay. But it was really cool to see the difference in interactions, how our friends on the street walked up to these people and they said, oh, hi, thank you for this, thank you for that. And then they walked up to us and they were like, oh, you guys are here. Hi, I love you. You guys always have the good food. And they were talking about somebody's been coming and feeding us soup, and we were like, those bastards. We've got you. So we're gonna start instead of doing the west side, we're gonna start doing the east side and do that every Tuesday.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about the wrong button. It said, oh hell no. Back to that. Oh well. Hell yeah.
That's all I got.
What can we do about the camera situation? I guess we
Here, you want
there's that camera.
You can come sit over here,
Yeah, that's true.
and then you don't have to.
There's actually headphones over there.
You can.
Oh, there.
There's. That works too. I was gonna say. No,
Do the thing.
you can-
All right. Well, here we all are.
Party.
Welcome to the party. So
What's in the box?
Brandon, what's
All
in
right,
the
let's see
box?
what's in the.
Remember, if you don't like it, crumble it up, toss it, and pick another one. If you like
On
it,
fire.
what's that?
Set it on fire.
Okay,
effigy.
I have a lighter.
Oh, I just had to read it. What is your ideal day?
I wonder who wrote that one. It wasn't you? Are you sure? I'm pretty sure that's a Candace question.
So we go to the left, right?
Oh, I see.
Oh
I
yeah,
answered
yeah,
that?
yeah.
All right.
Paul, you're up.
So my ideal day, I mean, being outside a lot is going to be the big thing. Probably like I really like to like plant things and work with plants, and so being outside on a beautiful day in my yard working on that kind of stuff is going to be a good chunk of it. Also, ideally, I would like, maybe go for a bike ride or a walk or a run and like go have that physical thing. And then it would also have to include, rocking, being rocked, going to a show, playing a show, band practice. And then definitely like cuddling with my kids.
Hell yeah.
Bam. Feeling cozy at night at home is what I like to.
Oh yeah.
Candace.
Awesome.
I feel like we might be the same person. 'Cause I'm also a garden person. I'd like to go on hikes. I mean, I feel like that's most of us now, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're all just like, oh, look at my tomatoes. Have you checked out the hike or this new bike trail down?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I love that about how the culture is shifting.
Mhm.
And it's nice that we live here with bike trails, otherwise we couldn't have that.
No doubt.
I think this just died.
Oh yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
man.
I'll get that here in just a second.
By all means.
I would think I'd say that mine would definitely involve some food, some Thai food, maybe some Mexican food, maybe both, maybe some Italian food. I don't know. I'd eat a lot. I'd play some music. I'd hang out with friends and family, and yeah, and if since this is all imaginary, I'd also teleport out to like somewhere around Tucson, and I'd go wander amongst the desert because I really think the desert is beautiful and I love it out there. Yeah, it's really awesome.
That was weird. It was cutting in and out.
Wander in the desert, he said. Let's
Yeah.
go.
For sure. I mean, all the saguaro cacti and
Yeah.
all the stuff, and the sky looks so huge.
Don't go to Burning Man, though.
Oh my god, that sounds like a nightmare, huh?
Yeah, no thanks.
That kind of freaks me out being around that many people
Mhm.
and then you get stuck and
Woo.
everybody's like, I mean, I know that they've got like water and food and stuff and they're kind of there. It sounds like it was made out to be worse than what it was. But
Yeah.
What- that makes me nervous.
My ideal day is a day that I don't have to pull out my AK.
Uh-huh.
There you go.
It's really bad, but this one I'm gonna roll with.
I don't know. I think I'd like to shoot.
Depends on what you're
Yeah,
shooting.
it depends on what
Yeah.
targets. Can be fun.
Oh, well, shit.
What's yours?
Is it? Oh, that's right. It went out. Shit. Hold on. I'll get that. So who's up?
Oh, am I up?
Yeah.
Do we make it all the way around? Okay, I won't look. I will pull something out. I'll do this. Where I hold it up here.
Right here.
Have you ever had group sex? This is 3+. And the answer is no.
Well, I'm a bisexual woman, so yes, I have.
Yep.
Not against it, but nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right on. All right. Glad we got through that one. Yeah. So
It's
hey,
a quick one though. That's what I was like. There's
Kenneth-
value in this because
I'm gonna fix that. So I got the camera on you for a second. Why don't you answer the question you picked first? That way I can do the show.
Okay, this one says, "Have you ever shit anywhere inappropriate?" There was definitely a few times in my life where I was in off-grid situations where you shit in a bucket and bury it later. Does that count as inappropriate? I mean, it probably wasn't proper.
yeah, it sounds appropriate to me
human
for the
composting.
circumstances, right?
Yeah, basically camping. So, ish. Not anywhere foul. I guess.
Yeah.
Boring. As long as you don't.
Not at the table in the middle of Applebee's.
Not at the table at Applebee's. Did that happen to you?
No. I didn't.
I mean, that's
Not
a-
often.
that's a question.
Not often.
Does this sound like a thing that? Sorry.
No, it's
So boring. I haven't even peed anywhere inappropriately.
what?
I know.
All right.
When the boys are peeing in the parking lots everywhere and shows, the girls just have to fucking
Look at that.
pee all over to figure out where the bathroom is.
There's already a suitcase full of money behind me.
I know. Surprise.
All right. So there's our camera setup now.
Woo.
I had to move it around a little bit. Do you guys want to be on camera? I can feng shui that real quick if you want.
That feng shui
Okay.
is a verb.
I did the best I could.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Also,
Also,
Thank you.
very good. Yeah. Wait, what was the question? I guess it's on
Have
me.
you ever shot anywhere inappropriate?
Have I ever shit? Like shat?
past
Shat?
tense,
Shit
not
happens.
current.
Okay. I mean, I went to the what's that fucking casino out here in Anderson. Help me out.
Oh yeah.
And I ate their
Anderson
food.
Casino.
We were the casino out there, and I ate their food. My sister was in town. We went there for her birthday, and I left there, and on my way home from Anderson to here, and I started getting bubble guts, bubble guts,
Yeah.
and I fucking almost made it home. I swear to God, I almost made it home. I pull in the driveway, and like, dude, look. I have almost pissed myself 1,000 times. So I'm like, I know what to do. Like, you jump out and you fucking put in park, jump out, and then you run, right? I literally put it in park. And as I'm getting ready to jump out, release the Kraken. And it was just a fucking shit show. I literally did not. I was so close. So close. And I literally, hold on, I gotta do it for everybody at home. Like fucking
Yeah.
penguin my ass up into the fucking house and fucking Prince cycle wash that shit. No pun intended, right? Totally pun intended. What about you? Rod?
Does shark count?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Early dates in Tulsa, Oklahoma, with the woman who's the love of my life, and we're still together with a beautiful child. But when we were dating, we'd fly back and forth, and I'm trying to be a cool guy with this super fly chick, and about to go somewhere and doing all kinds of food experiences and having drinks and staying up all night and getting to know each other. And right before we're going to somewhere else, I'm like, I think I'd go a little further. And it went, babe, I forgot something in the house. So bundled up the drawers and stuffed them as deep into the dress as I could. Washed the hands and went commando for the rest of the date.
That's reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Good work. Right
Shame.
Right choice.
Good work.
Yeah, I got you.
That's what it smelled like.
Yeah, I mean, who hasn't had that moment where they just didn't quite make it? That underwear was probably not that nice anyways.
I think past the age of 30, we've all had that experience.
Yeah,
Mhm.
totally depends, man.
Oh, yes, son, that is it right there. Nothing better than it depends, joke. Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I've traveled a lot and lived in the third world and lived in places like that where that's like the everyday norm, and the height of it being one time in Madagascar, I shit the bed, myself,
Aw.
our dining room table bench
Sounds like train spotting.
13 times in one day. So that
Oh
was
my God.
13 fails. So, and there weren't all fails, right? It was a long day. But yeah, that was kind of like a normal thing. But
What?
the best one, you get sick.
Candace said,
Like
"What?"
if you eat, like
In a third world country.
like it's like just going to Mexico. If you drink water that you shouldn't drink, or
Mhm.
eat fruit that's not washed, you might get a bug that hits you hard, and that's kind of a common thing. But a better one though, I'm just saying, like, I'm familiar with this. This is like my thing. Like, shitting myself is like one of my hobbies. But No, the worst though was like during the pandemic. We live just off 62nd. There's these big, nice neighborhoods, big, beautiful houses. Like a block over from us are like these gorgeous houses, and it's where we walk. You can do a nice loop there. And my daughter had a broken leg, and she was in a wheelchair, and I was pushing her on like this mile-long walk that we do every day. The kids are all with me. It was like winterish time. It was cold out. I think I had I had a sweatsuit on. I know. But like a sweatshirt, and we're all walking, and we're headed home. But we're like a quarter mile of home, and I'm like, oh no. And then I'm like, I think I can make it. And I did not make it, but I was still a very, very long way from home. And I had to push my daughter, and so she has to be in my proximity. And so we're walking, but this is like on a Saturday or a Sunday where everybody's out, all the neighbors are out walking, and everybody's got their dogs out, and I'm just seeing these dogs like come down the road towards me. And I mean, this is not like, oh, it's a little accident, babe, but because of cocktails. This was like my whole sweatpants, the little ankle thing there had like some massive weight to it. And all three of my kids are with me. And so like Eleanor that I'm pushing in the chair, she's just like, they're like, I can see them like whispering back and forth. And she's like, you have to come get me, so that she wasn't stuck with me pushing her. And this car, we were right at the end of this driveway. This car, I mean, this is, we're 8 houses down from mine. People that I see frequently walking, this family comes up and they get to their driveway, and they're like pulling in the driveway, and I'm there. But it's like at the moment where I think like I could be losing it, like in front of a van full of people. And I was kind of limping it. And so I knelt down, and I just waited there for a minute, and I pretended to tie my shoe. And my kids are like, Dad, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm tying my shoe. And so to this day, this was like, they thought this was the greatest day in the world, because like Dad like so just clearly shit his pants in the worst way. And so yeah, that they always, oh, you gotta tie your shoe, Dad.
I'm like nauseous.
Yeah, every time you tie your shoe.
Yeah.
What
are you doing, Dad?
What are you doing? That's great.
Wow.
But I had
Holy
to shuffle for a good quarter of a mile.
I feel like I've heard that one before, but
That was recent, that was
I remember when
this
she
house.
broke. I remember when she broke her leg.
Yeah. It was like it was like Christmas that day. They were just like, today was the best day ever.
On a podcast in 3035.
All right, Candace, it's your
What?
pull, right?
I did.
Oh, you
That's-
already
we just
pulled?
did it.
All right.
That was the have you shat in any inappropriate places?
Well, you guys want to do one more poll?
No.
No more polls.
No.
How can you beat?
How
Yeah.
can you beat that?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Well, I just wanted to, Pixie and Sky, y'all want to pull a question real quick?
Yes. Hell-
Okay. Questions will be pulled.
All right, I have to answer first. By the way, if you don't like the question, crumble up and toss it, and yeah.
can
But if
burn
you
it.
like it,
Then you can say it.
yeah, read it, and then show it to the camera real quick.
Feels like a lucky question.
That was perfect.
This is beautiful.
Did you have an emo phase?
Absolutely.
Our emo
yes.
phase never ended. What phase? We are still always listening to that early 2000s, like let me go, like cut myself music. Absolutely, all the time. Except now it all has like Ohio is full of race. Sky and I actually had our first date at an Hawthorne Heights concert, except they didn't know that it was a date. I took them out, and then we went to a nice Italian restaurant where we shared a plate of food. And then I spent an hour and a half singing emo love songs to them. And then I failed at trying to kiss them at the end of the night. And they had no idea that we were on a date. And then we went a year later to one in Columbus that was the day before the 1 year anniversary of our not date. So yeah, no, our emo phase never ever ever ended, and it probably never will.
So yeah, I definitely had my emo phase, and I still listen to a lot of that music. So for sure, yep. I graduated in 02, so I was right there in the fucking heat of the big emo movement, or really, to be real, the Midwest movement of the early 2000s. So yeah, right there in it.
I will not pass up a chance to go see Under Oath or A Day to Remember or Atreyu or any of those bands. We just got tickets to go see Black Veil Brides today, so we're gonna go see them later this month.
Hell yeah. What about Rod? Emo phase?
If it's music, I'm down. There are no bad genres, only bad bands.
Agreed.
Fair enough.
I can't even say I've had a singular phase.
What about My Chemical Romance? Good or bad?
Yeah, good.
Fuck yeah.
They're fun. They're
Yeah.
cool, you know. Good
The
band.
Black Parade album was like basically like a fucking kudos to fucking Queen, in my opinion. Like if you listen to the whole album, they kind of stretch that ground a little bit.
I had the
The
one
album before that
that
is really emo though.
The one before that is the one I had. Is
That's
that the
yeah.
one?
Take
What's it
this
called?
to your no. It's fuck man.
It was when they first got big
Oh the okay.
commercially.
Oh yeah.
The
It's
one with,
I should know this.
It's the one with the song about his grandma. on
yeah,
it.
Helena.
Helena.
Yeah.
Helena.
It's
See the cover art and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly.
Anyway,
It's,
I love that. That was stuck. In
it's
my
not
car
Bullet for My Valentine, I guarantee it.
for like a good solid year and a half. That was in my car, and I was in my 30s then. This was
Venom.
not like,
Venom
you know,
is probably my favorite song on that
Yeah.
album, by the way.
that's a solid.
And it's
album.
3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge. Yeah.
I'm going to interject.
That's in my top 10 albums of all time, by the way, Paul. Top 10
I'm gonna
albums of all
interject
time.
about music and guilty pleasures. There are no guilty pleasures in music.
Mhm.
Period.
The words of a non-elitist, by the way. I hate elitists, by the way. I hate elitists.
If you like it and it's
Yeah.
good,
If it makes your feet move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Get it.
I'm glad I figured it out. I was like, 3 Cheers for a Sweet Revenge. In my head, like,
Yeah.
it took me a second. But yeah, I love that fucking album.
I mean, I'm sure that there's stuff that I like that is emo. I don't even know. I don't even feel like I understand what the term
It's
means.
true.
There's
It's
music-
so broad.
There's
Yeah.
music that I listened to that I didn't know was
If-
emo. We
yeah,
went to emo
it's-
night.
Yeah,
emo
like
night
you
at
knew
the
what
Vogue.
emo was in 04.
Yeah,
You didn't know
and then
that
we
it
went
was
to-
emo, but
yeah,
we know
and
now.
they were
I heard
playing
about
stuff
emo in
that
the
I would've
90s, late
never-
90s. They were talking about emo.
It was
So
like-
what is that? Who is that?
Jawbreaker,
W-
baby.
wear me like a locket around your throat. I'll weigh you down. I'll watch you choke. You look so good in blue. That's
Emo is probably more about the
Emo.
lyrical content and the emotional
amen.
delivery.
Yeah, it's all about that. Yeah.
This is actually a big topic in my house. I've got a 15-year-old boy who loves emo with me. I've taken him to see The Cure and Jawbreaker, and he's like into all that shit. And we're always talking. And he went and saw American football when they were in town with his
Hell yeah.
teenage buddies.
Hell
So
yeah.
he's like deep into the Midwest scene.
Is the Cure
Nice.
emo?
That's awesome.
Yeah, fuck yeah. That's
I just
like on
got
the edge of it.
Kiss Me
That's on the
today,
edge
and
of
I'm
it.
thrilled.
But my point being is like we've sat down and said, what the fuck is emo? And let's go read as much as we can about like what is considered that. And it's so ridiculously wide.
You're emo,
that-
Paul.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
true. I've put that on our band descriptions. And that was going to be one of the comments.
This
I
guy
make, is
that shoots guns and makes his own
plays in
bullets,
the Nemo band.
he's emo.
Emo as fuck.
because when you trace it back, it go like Husker Du is cited as one of the first touch points, as is Rites of Spring.
Rites of Spring. That's
Free
right.
Fugazi.
Yeah, and there's a lot of
Fugazi.
emotions in Fugazi.
Yeah, it means emotive. It's like what
Mhm.
music is not fucking
Emotional.
emotive.
Yeah.
Nickelback
That
or
doesn't all-
Creed,
Like
maybe.
Wagner. I like Wagner. Is that
Hey,
emo?
Minor Threats filler.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck.
Well, then given this brushstroke,
You do like emo.
I am beyond
You
emo.
are totally emo.
What about you, green hair, don't care?
No feelings.
Oh,
at
you
all.
don't wait. Like yeah.
I still listen to emo music that I listened to in high
Mhm.
school, circa 2001 to 2005. So, The Used. things
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. Pretty typical. Yeah, I love it. It's good shit. But that's just one of many genres that I listen to.
Amen.
And many genres could possibly be emo.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
That's like emo rap.
The
now,
most
right?
emo country song that comes to mind is Tim McGraw's Kiss the Girl. So emo. Whatever. I just hear that. What about Kiss? I was made. No, I'm just kidding.
That's
You're
glam.
like, don't you talk
That's-
about
that's
disco
all-
Kiss
there's
like that.
No
How
substance,
dare you?
No substance.
Now I'm just being an asshole. Goddamn.
Yeah, me too.
Amen. Fucking A, man. This has been hella fucking fun, y'all. It's been really great, dude. Dude, y'all, whatever. I said, dude.
Dude, y'all.
Dude, y'all.
We are.
Dude.
You know what I should do? I
We are
should.
V. Are we V?
Oh yeah. So, all right. Check out fucking Long Arm. They're on Facebook, Instagram. They have records. Hit them up. And Brandon, you have your own solo work that you just put out.
Nod, narb.
Straight orange fucking vinyl. Hell yeah. Candace, motherfucking brought on some baked goods tonight for Rude Girl Baking. And then if you want to twist the camera, we got 2 of the First Church of Cannabis members up in this motherfucker. So yeah, it's been super fun. Shout out to fucking Rod for shot to shot. You want to do one more just for the hell of it? We're not driving. Fuck it.
I'm telling you, if
My dad picked
I
me
know,
up.
babe. I know.
I'm in, just not today.
Yeah. I've been there, man. I've been on my breaks too, so I feel you. Hell yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
What else? Any other plugs? Are we missing any plugs here?
We talked about
No plugs.
COVID.
Oh yeah, let's plug COVID one more time. Yeah. Check out that new vaccine coming out. It's 2024. It's gonna be dope. We're all gonna have
It's gonna
3
be
legs.
Revid.
Okay, so I am gonna give. So the First Church of Cannabis, we do an in-person service every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. You can also catch us on the live stream. Our doors open at 7. We are starting to work on a food bank. So if you know anybody who donates food or anything of that nature, please get a hold of me or the church directly. And my official ordination and our official ordination and minister becoming of whatever service is December 27th, and anyone is welcome. Please come join us at the First Church of Cannabis, 3400 South.
Is that a
Street.
Wednesday, the 27th?
It is.
So Christmas falls on a Monday. Damn.
That's all you heard.
I'm gonna write this down. Hold on. December 27th. All right, hold on. I have to hit this button because what I just said.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
We're gonna do that real quick.
At no point
And then
in your
we're gonna make it
rambling,
really fucking
incoherent
awkward and
response
check the comments.
were you even close to anything that can be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
So yeah, it's been a fucking killer fucking night. Thank you guys for coming out, making the fucking drive. Which one of you drove? Thank you, Paul, for driving these guys out here. It's a haul. Eventually, I hope I can find a spot to where we can not have chopped liver shit in LaPel, Indiana. And actually, I make the drive and then everybody else just, I am a little worried about that though. Cause imagine if I did these in Indy, you know how many people, like back when we did it at Horror Church or the gutters of Fountain Square, it would get out of hand.
Yeah.
People would just fucking show up and sit in on the show. So look forward to that. But either way, thank you guys so much for coming out.
Thank you.
Follow them on Instagram and Facebook, The Long Arm. Follow fucking Candace at Rude Girl Baking, and follow the lovely Pixie and Sky and what they do with the First Church of Cannabis. And then you can follow me at onlyfans.com/wow, look at those feet. It's been real. It's been fun, guys. Let me pull up this video real fast, and I'm gonna say the words that I always say. All of this started in 2014. It started with the zine. We ended up doing podcasts thanks to the MP Cavalier and everybody at Radio Free ND. And here we are today. Fast forward, and it all started with these words somewhere in Greenwood, under the influence of many drugs and many forms of fucking alcohol. We are the unheard. We are the overlooked. We are chopped liver.
You think you're weird? I think you're dumb. You fucking had it too.